402-477-0404. That's 402-477-0404. Dylan's Auto, on the air because they care.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Nutrition Authority presents Fusion 30, an ultra-premium protein ideal for anyone wanting to look, feel, and perform their best. Fusion 30 can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today for a free sample, visit with a certified nutritionist, and get better than internet pricing. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Seems like just the other day, I was building my first house. I've seen many changes to our building market in Lincoln. It's been a fun road.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
You know, we hear this a lot where I don't want to live in a cookie cutter home. Well, let's come up with some answers on what we're going to build, where we're going to build it, and what it's going to cost. One thing that we started doing early on was we started building neighborhoods. I'm a firm believer in character in your street and in your neighborhood. I like choice. I like variation. I like maybe something a little bit different in a neighborhood that you don't see in every neighborhood. I think it's great to have choices, its uniqueness, and I think that's what gives a neighborhood character. And I think that's what we've done over the years.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
93.7 The Ticket Sports News go now.
This is Rudy Gress IV with your Ticket Sports Update. First, around sports, it is NFL Draft Week with Round 1 set to kick off Thursday night at 7 p.m. Central on ESPN and the NFL Network. Keep an eye out for former Huskers, including Emmett Johnson, as draft boards continue to shift heading into the weekend and teams look to finalize their big boards. Now on to Husker sports. Your Nebraska baseball team just took down number 12 USC to complete a series sweep, including 2 run-rule victories. The ranked Huskers, now sitting firmly inside the top 20 nationally, hit the road tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central against the Kansas Jayhawks, live on ESPN+. Husker softball stays absolutely dominant, sweeping Minnesota over the weekend in the Statement Series with a combined score of 32-4. That marks their third straight Big Ten Series sweep, and Nebraska is now number 1 in the Softball America polls. Softball is right back in action Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central against UNO at Maverick Park in Omaha. For all the latest sports news and updates, keep it tuned right here to 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln, this is Old School with Foreman and Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln, Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Troy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped and picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score! Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black shirts answer the call one more time.
And Austin Orman. Hour 1 of Old School is sponsored by Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Oh, here we go on a Monday. Welcome into Old School, brought to you by Graham Tire Company. Austin Norman and Jay Foreman with you for the next 3 hours. 402-464-5685 if you want to be a part of the show. Jay, what a Monday. Welcome in. How are you?
What's happening? I'm doing all right.
Big news in the household. Sounds like congrats are in order.
Yeah. Young man got over the finish line. Signed the financial papers. Now you're financially obligated, you know what I'm saying? So then I can unleash fury on some people around here.
I know you're not joking, but it's still...
Oh, I ain't joking. Oh, I'm not joking. Knock, knock. Who's there? Your worst damn nightmare. I even made a fort. Let me see. I'm going to say that.
I feel like you're going all like KGB. I ask the questions.
Yeah, sit down. Yeah, I'm the captain now.
Yeah.
You know, let's see how long this video I made, the first one. 9. Dang. I didn't know I talked on it. 9 minutes and 3 seconds.
There we go.
I'll put it on my YouTube. It's just now this one was just covering youth sports. But I think, I mean, to be honest with you, I'm happy for him, and I'm happy for all the kids that I coached that are able to go on and play. Just because the way, as we're about to get into Husker basketball, it's like this crazy portal affects the high school kids. These kids that are just kind of like moving college to college. Once you're in the vortex, it's easy. Getting to the vortex, which is hard. And so anybody that can go on to play any sport at the college level, it's definitely, the percent is lower than when I was coming out. The percent is lower ever since pretty much before COVID. And it's a great accomplishment.
It absolutely is. Congrats to the young man at your house and all the others across the city, across the state, and across the country for that. You mentioned it. We'll get into some Nebraska men's basketball here. Before we really dive into that, though, Jay, notable, we mentioned at the end of last week, Bearcade Buchtenjel going out to Vanderbilt. How about the guy that's likely to start at center next to him, Lincoln's very own, Bang Dak.
Get Dak out of here. That's what they're going to be saying. Yeah, I'm telling you. I know that he doesn't fit the mold here. You look, I'm telling you, you're going to see.
Because of his skill set, right?
Yeah, from his. Hey, see, you brought me to somewhere I didn't really want to go. I was just dealing with straight basketball. But BD, if everything keeps going the way it's going, I mean, you're going to see BD in consideration to walk across that stage with Adam Silver.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. Or he's definitely going to be able to play at a higher level if he continues the progress where he's at. And sometimes that's hard to pass by. I'm happy for him. BD is a great kid, really great family. All of them are hoopers playing in college basketball in some form or some place or another. And he's really worked at it, man. It's, as I am talking about, my YouTube to talk about club sports and everything like that, it was all BD. It really was. I mean, I know Dan English and Derek Schaus trained him, but he put in the work, man. He had a goal. I mean, seriously, I know he played at Southeast, didn't have any offers. We were at the tournament. He's older than my kids, but they all know each other. He's always been really great to the young kids. That's what I respect about him. You know what I'm saying? And so we were watching him, and literally as his life changed, as he played well, Colorado was there.
Kept sprouting.
Right. And Colorado needed a big guy. Offered him. Next thing you know, he commits, and 2 good years up there. Now he's on the way to SEC. I hope we don't have to play him again.
Played for a good coach in Tad Boyle.
I like him.
Good coach. Hasn't done much of anything special in a few years, but they're around, right? Yeah. They're fine. Not a train wreck. Tad Boyle's been doing it for a long time. Pretty darn well respected in the industry to go play for Mark Byington. Really an up-and-coming sort of name.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you about this. Would you, and I know the answer, you probably really would want to be, you'd rather be Fred. But here, what do you think is a harder job? Validating what Nebraska did this year, meaning legendary year, legendary team, legendary progress, then with the expectation that you're just going to go in and just gobble up everything in the portal, or be like Boyle up there where he's had lottery picks, guys drafted, and then now he has 2 guys. Because remember, he has Chris. I think it's Chris Johnson.
I think
right?
so.
Right?
And Isaiah Johnson went to Texas.
Yeah, Isaiah Johnson. His dad's Chris Johnson.
Yeah.
Because his dad is an NBA trainer. He trains the guys, a skill guy or whatever.
Right. That's right.
So it's Chris Johnson, Isaiah Johnson. So you get him, right? Diamond in the rough, all everything, freshman point guard, takes over your team. And then not only does BD leave, your other big guy goes to
Sebastian Rancic.
Where'd he go?
Has he committed yet?
Yeah, he did.
Did he commit?
Yeah, I saw the little thing. So you lose 3 guys, NBA players, off your
Florida State.
That's what it was. I was going to say Florida State. So you lost 3 guys. 3 guys that potentially, that definitely would have put you in the running to, be very, very competitive in the Big 12. You lose 3 guys with potential that can go to the next level. So that's a hard job to be at, because you go get these guys, right? Right? Because you got to think Johnson was obviously well trained, right? But he wasn't Texas wasn't trying to get him at the very beginning,
Right.
right? So
Mhm.
Colorado found him,
Mhm.
right? Or like it became a great opportunity for him because he wasn't like coming in and guaranteed to start. It was like,
Had to
okay,
earn it. Had to work.
you had to earn it, but here's the opportunity.
Mhm.
So you found him. You fall into BD, you fall into other big man. They're here for one's here for 1 year, BD's there, and the other big man for 2. And
18
they're
to 30 months.
gone.
Mhm.
You're essentially program's gutted. Now they do bring back some talented guys, but you got to also think remember not this year but last year they had the guy that was actually, I guess, technically starting over BD. He was 6'8", about 260. Then he went to TCU.
Mhm.
That's another guy.
Yeah.
So that's a guy and he was a really good like captain for him, for
Mhm.
them. Physical, really good team guy. The
Mhm.
Colorado fans loved him.
Yeah.
They were pretty dang good that year.
Mhm.
He's gone.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a hard job, man, because you must not have the financial resources to keep guys, but you have the coaching staff and the developmental staff to get them competitive and to be very good individually. And here you go, 2 months later or whenever the season's over, bye-bye.
Any mid-major coach is saying, welcome to what we've been saying
Right.
forever. And that's one of the issues that Nebraska hasn't really run into, but that Colorado has, is that their best players end up going somewhere else high major, right? I have a running list of all the guys that have transferred out under Fred Hoiberg. Bearcat Buchenwald is one of the very few. They went to a fellow high major. In fact, he might be the only one that comes to mind off the top of my head. You think about like an Andrew White back in the Miles era from Kansas to Nebraska up to Syracuse.
And he did okay there.
He was fine.
Yeah. It was the same. But
didn't get better necessarily. But before, Colorado, you think about like Cody Williams, not that long ago, Tristan Da Silva with the Magic, who took game 1 off the Pistons last night. They've had some good players there, and Boyle's been there. He was there. He got to Boulder, Colorado's final year in the Big 12. First year in the Pac-12, win the conference tournament, make it to the NCAA tournament, part of a run of 3 straight. But since 2014-15, he's only made it 3 times since then, with only 2 losing records. It's just been a program that stayed afloat. And that's better than you can say for like Arizona State and Bobby Hurley. Memphis in a different conference, but I think about the big name, the talent they've had there with Penny Hardaway. I give Tad Boyle a lot of credit for keeping that program afloat because of the dynamics that you've mentioned. But that's also, Jay, where I'd probably rather be Nebraska in that situation because, I mean, at what point do the fans run Tad Boyle out of there? I know he's getting up there, but okay, when's the last time you accomplished anything, right? It's great to make the tournament, but you haven't made any noise. I mean, they were really good the first few years in the Pac-12, and then just kind of sank into the middle in an okay, solid, fine Pac-12. But this Big 12 that they're playing in right now is a bunch more difficult than that Pac-12. Right. And they're still just kind of what they've always been. And maybe that's a testament that they jump back up in competition level and they're still there. But I'm curious to see if a place like Colorado, I think Utah's in that mix as well. They've been, a little bit more even inconsistent than Colorado has. Programs like that, maybe like I don't even know the great Ohio State, maybe, but that's different because of all the money and they're in the Big Ten. Programs like that are never atrocious, but struggle to take that next step. What that looks like in this day and age, because those are the teams you would think you would want that retention of a Bang Out Dak of a Sebastian Rancic, but you might not be able to do it because these guys say, oh, I played a decent role on an okay team. Now we can go play a bigger role on a team with expectations that's going to go somewhere in the dance. A lot of those kids, boom.
Yeah. And it's both jobs are hard. I mean, anything with the portal now is hard because once you get a little bit past, the season turns into the new year, a week or 2 into the new year. So about middle of January, late January, recruiters or whatever you want to call them are looking at other people, and maybe players have their agents doing the same, and so you can lose for a place like Colorado that is in the Power 4 conference. You're in a basketball conference. So you would think you have a little bit more credibility because like I can maybe save myself with a couple of players, and you're going against the best competition. You will be more ready to go to the NBA than other conferences. That's what I would be selling them, it's really not the truth anymore when you look at the depth in the SEC and obviously the Big Ten as well. and it does change every 2 or 3 years. And you don't have a big NIL budget. We've seen that obviously with Deion Sanders being the head coach. You know, they're struggling to figure out how to, you know, go and recruit players, let alone keep them. Doesn't just affect the football team. You see it affecting the basketball team. It's everywhere because the rev share, whatever you view yourself as, is going to get the majority of the money. Excuse me. I don't know what Colorado is school wise. I'd like to think football. I don't think they have the
prime time.
I don't think they have the donor support. So it's no different than football. They do have a new AD as well. I think he just came on at some point last year, at Colorado. So that changes the dynamic for Boyle and stuff like that. And sometimes it's where coaches get burnt out and decide to, tap out. So it's a tough, road to go for him. And I'm sure he's, hopeful that they all go on and be successful as far as individual players. But as far as when you're trying to run a program and be competitive and make that leap like you're talking about, losing 3 really good players, to any program is hard, especially when they're staying in college basketball. If they're all able to go to the NBA, then you'd be like, I did my job. Yeah. Now you've done your job or wanted to continue to do your job. Other teams are going to benefit from it.
Couple things from the text line, then we'll get into the Nebraska-specific portion of our proceedings today. From our Starter Heyman Jewelers text line at 402-464-5685. Gino says, I agree. My kid went to high school with Bang Out Dak and is pissed that he didn't end up here. I assume, Gino, you're talking about your kid. Maybe Bang Out Dak. We're not sure. Got to trust the coaching staff and their evaluation of what fits, if the money was right and all that. If we don't have those details. Yeah. And then Fred Nod Hoiberg says, CJ Wilchert went to A&M. Yes, I forgot to. Right. I skipped over that one, so that is my bad for CJ Wilchert. But still, I think that proves the point. It's a very short list of guys from Nebraska that have continued on to another high major program and or have actually upgraded their role in their production. Eli Rice ends up at Penn State, really not to be heard from again on a forgettable kind of middle of the road team. So I think
he played some this year, right?
Well, he played. He was the rep at Big Ten Media Days.
Yeah,
in fact,
and he started against us, right?
Yeah, he no, he came off the bench. I think I remember looking for that. But that's the point. Like, it's forgettable.
Yeah,
you forget about it. And I know we were so focused on the season that Nebraska was having, but let's turn our attention here now, Jay, to the depth chart for Nebraska. Seems like the starting lineup would be all but set. Tyreek Coleman goes to Iowa, and Drew Fielder goes to Alabama. So those 2 targets off the board for Nebraska. Right now, if you ask me, you're looking at Trevin Lenhart, Price Sanfort, Braden Frager, Sam Orm, and Bowden Kapke as the starters for Nebraska. I would feel pretty comfortable predicting that to be the starting lineup.
Then
first pass, okay.
Then Connor Essegian coming off the bench.
Essegian off the bench, Curtis off the bench, Jacobson off the bench with Jacob Lanier and Colin Rice in the mix. I still think Nebraska can go out and get a project type of guy, whether it's in the front court or the back court. I think one more rotation piece would go a long way.
How do you feel about the ball handling?
I think Nebraska could use another one. That's where I think the Tyreek Coleman issue ended up being. He's got a chance to step into that kind of high volume on ball role for Iowa, whereas he probably would have been off the bench or maybe in a timeshare at Nebraska with that position, because Nebraska went out and got the upperclassman veteran starter in Lenhart. If you're going to start Coleman next to him, you can talk me into it, but then that's Sanford at the 3. Well, what do you do with Frager and Orm there at the 4? Because you're not putting Orm at the 5 long term. And I think those are a couple questions to get into, Jay, with that lineup. Nebraska certainly gets taller. That's not necessarily saying they got better at rebounding. They just got taller. But really, I think the most interesting part of that starting lineup is what that does to Sanford probably moving down to the 2 more consistently, and Frager going down to the 3. What are the pros and cons of that for both guys?
Well, I mean, the pros is that they're 2, really good players, right? Mm-hmm. And so, and they're versatile enough that they'll be able to add to their game. I think it gives different looks to the opponents that when they try to do their off-season scouting, that they have to start over, with those 2. I think you have 2 players that play off and with each other really well. So I don't think you're going to have 2 guys just kind of both run into the lane and really muddied up. I think the cons are you're taking them out of a position of familiar, where they're familiar with. But I think the way Fred runs his offense, and the principles that they've kind of already done it before. I think the main reason by doing it, and this is just me guessing, is that Price has better ball handling skills right now. And so technically he's a 2. I think he's a more experienced player. I think they both do. I think right now, if you just take him right now today, I think Price is maybe a little bit better off the bounce.
Yeah,
right. Okay, so that's the main reason for 2. And then I think as you're still trying to, and you got to think, Frager's still going. He's still like maturing, and he's going into a new position. Like he came off the bench last year. Now you're going to be a starter. It's a totally. Now he's started a couple games, but
full time.
But being the person that you're in the scouting report, they're looking for your weaknesses. They're looking for what they like doing with you. They're looking at you defensively. You're going to automatically be playing a lot more minutes versus coming off. You're kind of watching, and you're really being able to feel your way into the game. You're not going to be able to get easy buckets as much as you did this year. So I think it's going to be positive, but it could be a little bit tough sledding. But it also is. I think it's also good to where, I guess I'll give you a football analogy, right? And so when I went from Frager's role my first year, where I played, end up starting a few games, had some success. Then you come into the next year, so then you're thinking like, okay, I'm going to be at the weak inside linebacker spot in the 3-4. That's what that's what I was successful at. That's what I did, right? Well, then here we go in the first mini camp. You go to the strong side. Then they add you into a little bit of the nickel and dime defense. And then you still got to do what you had to do that kind of got your, the party started. That's where Frager's at. I like it. And same with Price, right?
Yeah.
I like it in the sense of, and I think these two players fit the script. You're giving them something new. It's not to keep their attention, but it's like still, it's like
a development path.
And with Ormy coming in and everybody else, I think it also allows everybody to start on the same ground, right? Because you got, you're going from the 3 to the 2 to the 3. I like it.
The pros, I think, is that Nebraska gets taller, right? I think that there are times that Nebraska could go to that Price Sanford out of the post kind of playmaking, especially with a smaller guard that's not as comfortable down there. The worry is that if Price Sanford's going to be relied on for more ball handling, can he continue to keep the turnovers down? That's easier for him to do as a primarily off-ball wing. And there's not a lot of on-ball stuff with Nebraska in terms of actual shot creation necessarily. A lot of it's set up for you with the movement and the motion. But I did like Price Sanford against some guys that maybe weren't as comfortable on the perimeter. Being guarded by more 2s, by more combos, Nebraska's going to have to make sure those screens are super airtight, right?
Yeah.
Make sure they really get their angles and footwork right. Because you can get away with a little bit more margin for error when there's a bigger guy that might not be as quick as Price, that doesn't know where you're going, that's not as used to or comfortable navigating those screens. To me, though, that's a very minor concern. Yeah. The bigger concern for me, it's not even concern, right? It's not a problem. I'm not worried about it. But the bigger point of emphasis, the bigger thing I'll be watching is Frager's development with the ball in his hands. Frager against a 4, if there's a big lumbering 4 like Wisconsin, Frager can shoot over the top. Guy gets up because he's knocked one down. Okay, he can drive around him. Frager against similarly sized players. Now you're talking about Cohen Carr, potentially. Right? Not that I think Cohen Carr's some all-star necessarily.
He's a good defender. Though.
He's a good defender. He's quick. He's explosive. He's athletic. And I think the next step for Braden Frager to prove that he can be a starting 3, worthy of kicking Price Sanford up or down the positional spectrum, however you want to look at it, is going to be with the handle and the on-ball pressure on defense, right? I know Frager's not the biggest guy, but he's sturdy enough. He can give some resistance in the post. I still just think he's probably better off ball right now, trying to play passing lanes and come over, rotate weak side on defense. If Frager can develop with the ball in his hands, this works out like gangbusters for Nebraska.
Yeah, I totally agree because he's able to eliminate any size differential by the strength and his willingness to go in there and challenge guys. But he's got to develop, and Fred knows that, and Frager knows it as well. I mean, he's, I think also, I mean, we're stating what we think, and sometimes it's the obvious, sometimes it's not. But Fred has enough experience to where when they're talking, even when he's re-signing, like these are the things you drastically have to improve if not only you want to continue to be, improving player, But if you have any thoughts or wants to go and play professionally, both in the NBA or anywhere overseas or whatever, there's a chance to go and doing so, you have to improve off the bounce. It'll make you a better player. It will improve your outside shot.
Yeah.
It will allow you to get easier looks. You'll be way more creative. And we don't have to
inconsistent.
We don't have to run a lot of sets for you. You'll have more things that you can go to if your outside shot isn't hitting. So right now, because it was either like kind of a back cut easy layup or a three. Now we need the in-between game, and I like it.
It was role player stuff.
Yeah, but it was very effective and at times very consistent. But it was able to be, really consistent because of Rink, of Sam, Price doing their thing, and a little bit with Burke. They were really, high, a very well-oiled machine. Now you got to really start over, but we got to continue along the process with you, carrying your weight.
We'll dive into some more numbers at a different point throughout the offseason here. I do want to get to this before we go to break and have a recruiting update with Husker football from Brian Munson. Really curious to see as well, Jay, this time more in the front court, how often Nebraska sticks Sam Orm at the 5 if they really want to blitz teams or end of game sort of scenario. Not an elite rim protector by any means, but can kind of survive in the team concept like Nebraska asked Rink Mast to do. Or can Nebraska slide Bowden Kapke up to the 4 potentially, or might be able to survive at the 3. I don't know exactly what that lineup would look like. Probably Stanford or Frager at the 2. If Orm's going to play the 3 and Nebraska goes absolutely, massive supersize meme sort of thing. But then that means you need Leo Curtis to develop into a legitimate option there at the 5, and or another rotational big guy that I still think Nebraska would like to land at some point here. I think more often than not, Kapke's a 5, but I wonder if there are some lineups Nebraska needs to or wants to go big, depending on the development of Leo Curtis.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great opportunity for Leo to, earn some playing time, have a huge impact on this team. It's a needed position. His skill set is needed, and it's not an opportunity where like, oh, it never will work. And so, being able to have the flexibility of different lineups, I think with Fred and the way that they go about their business as far as preparing and defensively and offensively will allow them to not have the lulls at time offensively like they've had it, and you've seen it where you kind of go and you look like you fell asleep for a little while. Plus it allows you to do different things. When you go on the road, I'm thinking like to Iowa, where they come out and they were, when we notoriously roll up to Purdue, Michigan State, where you have different lineups to be the off-speed pitch or the curveball to when the other team is really hitting your fastball. Then you can go back to what you do well. So I think it bodes well. I really do.
82-53, we addressed that a little bit, but that is the big question, right? Frager starting versus coming off the bench. Remains to be seen what kind of skill development work is done behind the scenes and how he adjusts to that attention. We talked about the Brock Purdy effect quite a bit on this program when he came on in relief of Jimmy Garoppolo there in San Francisco versus when he became the guy. A lot of similar dynamics at play. Let's go to break. When we get back, we'll call up Brian Munson of Husker Online, Husker football recruiting update, and more straight ahead on Old School.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Spring is here, and it's time to wake up Judson. Judson Irrigation is eager and ready to get your sprinkler system up and running for the season. Judson's technicians will check for winter damage, adjust your sprinkler heads, and show you how to set your controller for effective sprinkling coverage. The Judson Irrigation team is here for you. Stay safe.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
seems like just the other day, I was building my first house. I've seen many changes to our building market in Lincoln. It's been a fun road.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
You know, we hear this a lot where I don't want to live in a cookie cutter home. Well, let's come up with some answers on what we're going to build, where we're going to build it, and what it's going to cost. One thing that we started doing early on was we started building neighborhoods. I'm a firm believer in character in your street and in your neighborhood. I like choice. I like variation. I like maybe something a little bit different in a neighborhood that you don't see in every neighborhood. I think it's great to have choices, its uniqueness, and I think that's what gives a neighborhood character. And I think that's what we've done over the years.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
In communities like ours, local relationships still matter. At Insight Partners, we believe we are better together. That's why insurance agencies across the Midwest have joined Insight Partners to better serve local customers and communities with all their insurance needs. From personal to commercial or specialty insurance, your local Insight Partners team is here to help protect what matters most. Insight Partners, better together. Learn more at myinspartners.com.
Looking for something fun tonight? Axe throwing, local beer, and great vibes are waiting at Arbor Axe House. From casual nights out to celebrations and team events, it all starts here. Reserve a lane today at arbораxe.com. Arbor Axe House at the corner of N Street and Antelope Valley.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Nutrition Authority presents Fusion 30, an ultra premium protein ideal for anyone wanting to look, feel, and perform their best. Fusion 30 can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today for a free sample, visit with a certified nutritionist, and get better than internet pricing. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, welcome back in. It is Old School, hour one of the show, presented by Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Really appreciate them and everything they do for us. They can do great work for you as well. Give them a call, 402-430-3852, or visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. We are headed to our Allo Fiber VIP line right now, where we are joined by Brian Munson of Husker Online. Brian, how are you? How did week one of spring football go for your young man down there in Texas?
It was good. Actually, we got a first scrimmage tonight at 6 o'clock, so the weather has really cooperated. It rained all weekend, but we are good to go tonight. I think it was like 65 degrees outside. I'm like, oh, I'm looking so forward to getting outside in a hoodie and some shorts and watch some football tonight.
Incredible. It's that time of year. I'm a baseball guy myself. I know baseball is big in Texas too, but spring football and everything big down there as well. Well, Brian, let's dive into all things Nebraska football recruiting right here. I know you've been hard at work, a lot of offers, a lot of visit news coming out over there on Husker Online. And one that stood out to me recently was that Nebraska got involved with a pretty high-level 2028 running back by the name of Micah Rhodes. That's a guy that was back on the market after pretty high-profile decommitment. How long has Nebraska been interested in him, and what's that recruitment looking like right now?
Yeah, Micah, it's kind of interesting. I think he was only committed to Oklahoma for a few short months, and wrote that story, I think, on Wednesday night or Thursday night last week. So don't remember all the specific details, but Nebraska is obviously a team that has his eye, that I think they'll get a chance to host him in June. He is taking, a closer look at some of the in-state schools. I think that he has already been to Austin at least once. So people that don't know, like, where Spring, Texas is, it's basically Houston. So it's pretty far down, into the state away from Nebraska. So, like, it just in terms of geography, it's about 4 hours south of Dallas. So yeah, he's a big time player. That is absolutely for sure. I think it's great that Coach Barthel has got Nebraska on the short list for him to get a chance to host him this summer. It's a big deal to get a guy like that back up on campus in Lincoln. So yeah, we should be looking for some more details to kind of come out as he tries to get that visit scheduled for that first week in June.
How would you compare him to a guy like Kawan Lacey, maybe the last high-profile running back Nebraska targeted?
Oh, yeah, Kawan was just so special. Oh, yeah, that one hurt so badly to think about, because I went out and, and he even, like, kind of pulled the rope-a-dope on me, too, and told me he was solid, and then ended up decommitting, like, the next week. I think there's some similarities there. The things that kind of just always – when you look for a running back, particularly when they're like that highly rated, you want a guy that can kind of get involved like in every facet of the game. You want a guy that's a very effective pass catcher, a guy that also can do some dirty work when it comes to blocking. The thing about Kawan Lacey was too is that you could split him out or put him into motion and almost like use him as a wide receiver. He was a little bit longer, so there's some similarities there. Obviously, Kawan was just very special in that regard. Had tremendous speed, had great length too. So a little different, but there are some similarities.
Sticking on the 2028 theme for a moment here, done a lot of write-ups on the offensive line guys in that 2028 class. Any names standing out to you in that group that either Nebraska is in on or that are in on Nebraska, and where do some of those relationships stand?
I had a great conversation. I think it was Sunday night. Yeah, I haven't written the story yet. I think it's probably going to be in my 3 and Out on Wednesday. Lincoln Fa'afili, who is actually a New Zealander, moved to the States, 2028 guy. And, my son plays offensive line too, and he's like the second biggest offensive lineman on the team. And I walked out when I got done talking to this kid, and I asked my son, how big do you think this guy was? He's your same age, and Lincoln is 6'8", 360. He's really still kind of putting things together. Even like I would even say he struggles like with the geography of the United States. Had no idea like where Nebraska was even at. Clearly knows like where USC and UCLA are at. He's talking about also taking some visits to Washington and Oregon. So not really straying too far away from the West Coast, at the moment, but definitely an interesting dude. I mean, it's hard to believe, like some of the people that have seen him up close, like would never say in a million years that he weighed as much as what he does. Like they said he's just like very proportional. So very interesting to kind of see his name pop up. Yeah, Coach Manning was in home with him, I think, the very first day that Nebraska could be on the road last Wednesday. So that was one of the guys that really stood out to me. And I like I said, like it's been trouble. It's been a little bit of a task getting a hold of a lot of these guys, because a lot of guys are on taking spring visits. They're leaving on Fridays or they're all day Saturday, Sunday. So I've had very limited time to kind of catch up with some of these guys. And some of these guys have been like actually going to trips or calling me after visits to other schools. So it's been kind of difficult putting it all of it together and being very timely with it. But Lincoln I don't even know how to say it now, dude. But I will have something about him on 3 and Out on Wednesday. Great kid, 6'8", 360 sophomore. Just unbelievable.
Keep that in mind. Get to Husker Online. Get your subscription at the very least by Wednesday and sooner, so you don't miss out on anything from Brian Munson. Let's keep the train rolling. Brian, a little birdie tells me that Nebraska may or may not have Bryce Williams in town. No, not the guy that started Nebraska for a couple of years on the basketball court. Another Bryce Williams. What do you know about that?
Yeah, so Bryce was supposed to come to town for, I think it was getting to town today. I think he's going to be in Lincoln for actually 2 days. And then later this week, I think he's going to Chapel Hill. He'll be doing the North Carolina run. And he has an official visit scheduled to come back and be in Lincoln for the first weekend in June. I think things look really good for the one-time Florida State decommitment. He has, picked up at least one prediction, from me and another one from one of the regional guys that he will end up a Cornhusker. I think he's a Fort Lauderdale Western High School kid, got great length. I think it's really shaping up to what could be a really special secondary class for Nebraska with this 2027 group. So kind of keep an eye on that. I mean, because you've already got a great start with Torrey Pittman, which I'm sure we're going to hit on here shortly. And if you get another guy like Bryce Williams in, and you've got like Nebraska was at Tavares Harrington's high school today in Chicago. There's definitely a lot of irons in the fire for the Huskers to nab a really solid group of defensive backs as part of the 2027 class.
You mentioned it. Let's go there. Torrey Pittman, there's some smoke around a potential trip that either will be taken or was taken down to Coral Gables. Any truth to that, and any concern from Nebraska that one of their crown jewels of that 2027 class is in danger of falling off the crown?
Well, the date for that visit was supposed to be this weekend. And, I've reached out to some, sources down there in Miami to kind of see if they could confirm whether or not they saw Torrey Pittman or have talked to Torrey Pittman to see if he was there for a visit. If he was there, they didn't see him. So he's not gotten back to anybody yet and hasn't really gone out and said anything, to anybody to say he was there. I think right now things are looking like he stayed put, which is great. I think that's going to be a big sigh of relief from several Nebraska fans. He is the highest rated recruit for Nebraska in the 2027 class. He's a guy that, that immediately after like Trey Taylor, committed in Nebraska, he went right after him. I mean, I think if you ask Trey Taylor, who was like the most important guy, like recruiting wise after you committed, like who to go get, I think he would tell you Torrey Pittman was. I think it's just the in-state side, and what that means to kind of get those guys that are, he needs more information about Nebraska. Torrey Pittman can help out with that. Obviously a great player, could play multiple positions, even on opposite, other sides of the football from one another. So, I mean, I think that it would be a massive hit to Nebraska if Torrey Pittman was really looking around. But as of right now, it does not seem that he made that trip to Miami, but we're still chasing it down. One source is saying no, and we will try to get something definitively from him.
So what's the bigger deal then, if he didn't take the trip or the fact that he was thinking about taking the trip at all to begin with?
Well, maybe he didn't understand the potential fallout that could happen by taking a trip like that potentially. I can say this and don't feel bad doing it. It caught everybody off guard. Everyone was caught off guard based on the news that Torrey Pittman was potentially going to Miami this weekend. That was a big time, open your eyes kind of moment for several people to hear that he was taking that trip. So I think the ramifications from all this stuff, sometimes it just escapes the guys that are like boots on the ground, kind of going through the process and, probably are solid, but are thinking about just in terms of like wanting to go see Miami, or maybe it was just more of a pressure-filled situation, talking to the Miami coaches a little bit, trying to get them to come down there. Miami has a lot of money to spend. There's no doubt about it. I read about there was an article that just came out about how much money they were trying to tempt Ty Simpson to come out of Miami and be their quarterback for a season. It was like $4.5 million. So they definitely have got a lot of money to spend when it comes to their football roster.
The graphic I saw from the Miami On 3 people put out a list of 7 or 8 guys on it, and the only one that was committed somewhere was Torrey Pittman. And so if that visit didn't happen, seems like it'll be a good sign for Nebraska. You mentioned that aspect with Trey Taylor. I mean, quarterback, we know that's, the recruit. It's the cornerstone, the linchpin of any class. Is there any, competition in Nebraska's mind, from Matt Rule on down? Is Torrey Pittman as big or bigger of a commitment for Nebraska than Trey Taylor? Does Taylor's take the cake just because of the quarterback angle?
I think the quarterback angle here is massive. Whenever you settle in, on a quarterback, you really isolate yourself. You put all your eggs into a basket. Nebraska did that very early with Trey. They did that very, very early in the process. So I think it drives up the importance because you're only grabbing one. But I mean, in terms of like the ranking, if you went back through and wanted to, to say that was, didn't line up with what my argument or what I was saying, that's fine. I mean, you're going to grab probably 3 other defensive backs, as part of this class to go along with Torrey. So it kind of, I think, is going to have a way to even out. But I think when you're just grabbing one of a particular position, like you typically do with a quarterback, the importance is always there. The importance there is driven up there by the fact, I think, that there's a lot of things, that the hype is very real with Trey, with what's going on with him with Elite 11, with, all the people nationally that have seen him compete so far this spring, are just absolutely blown away with how good of a player he is. So I think that Nebraska fans, they're I would think that most of them would say that it was Trey as well, just because, but I mean, with the ratings still favor Torrey. The importance to the class, however, is that Nebraska has their quarterback in the class, and that is Trey Taylor.
All right, Brian, it's NFL draft week, so I can't let you go without asking, what are the Bills going to do, and how similar or different to that is what you want them to do here over the next few days, Thursday through Saturday with the NFL draft?
So what I want them to do is literally draft every draft pick on the defensive side of the football. I mean, I'm of the mindset that you have to get off the field on third down, and they just did a horrible job of doing that last year. They've got to go get better in the trenches. I really like the defensive tackle from Ohio State. I think his last name is McDonald. I don't know necessarily, though, if he's a great fit value at like 26 where they're picking at. So you probably are going to see Bean trade out. I think he's a guy that's going to trade down. It's a typical move for him to kind of pick up some extra draft picks. I do like one of the names that they've been throwing around, though, like in the later rounds. They got their eyes on like Dominique Orange from Iowa State. Now, that was a real fun kid to talk to in high school, and really kind of thought maybe there might be a chance that he ended up at Nebraska, ended up at Ames, had a good career. Would be a nice little piece to also add to the defensive line. I would be happy with a wide receiver. They're talking about an edge kid from UCF. I don't see it. So I think what's going to end up, I hope what they do is grab a run stopper defensive lineman. I can see them doing a wide receiver, but my thought is that Bean is going to trade out and he'll go pick up an extra pick or two.
Is that all bad? Or do they need the impact player they don't want to give up the premium, late first for?
I think that if you have a chance to dip down and still have your guy be there, that's fine. But if you're telling me then that you say that the value is the same across like the board from like the 4th to the 8th defensive tackle, and you don't care, you just want to have one of those 4 to 8 guys, I don't believe in that. I think that there's a reason, why some other guys are higher up on the board, and you can't necessarily always do those groupings. I think you need to find a guy at a spot and really zero in on him. So I hope that Bean is more prepared to have that spot ready, but I can see them doing a linebacker. I can see them doing an interior offensive lineman. I could see that as well. I think that's also a need that they can hit later on down the draft. I think a lot of it's going to matter about how things roll and what else comes off the board, because as well as I, when like the run on offensive linemen happen, at a certain range because of value or the wide receivers, that always seems to happen as well. But 26, you typically have those runs happen well before the time that you're going to select that night.
All right, well, keep your scorecard. I'll definitely ask you about it again in a week. I'd love to know your thoughts. My Colts are not picking in the first round, at least as of now, so you'll have at least some more intrigue coming up on Thursday. But, hey, I'll send this to Brandon Bean as well, see if he agrees with your assessments, Brian.
Yes, please. Or tell him, just give him my phone number, man. I'd love to consult with him.
Sounds good. I know a guy who knows a guy, so we'll see what we can do. Our recruiting guy for Husker Online, it's Brian Munson. B. Munson, appreciate it as always, man. Have a good week.
See you, bud.
Brian Munson joining us on our Allo Fiber VIP line. That's where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. Husker Hall of Famer, former Buffalo Bill, and other NBA, NFL veteran Jay Foreman joins me after this.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you looking for something different for lunch or dinner in Lincoln? Big 8 is now open at 1226 P Street, serving seafood boils and Asian cuisine. Get your hands messy with fresh, flavorful seafood boils, hot, bold, and made to share. Or enjoy classic Chinese and Asian dishes, perfect for lunch, dinner, or a night out with friends and family. Big flavors, generous portions, and a brand new dining experience. Big 8, now open in Lincoln.
Want to make the easy call? Call John Henry's. From leaky pipes to a broken AC, flickering lights to furnace fights, even drains and duct cleaning, we've got it handled. Plumbing, heating, air, and electrical, all under one trusted roof. Proudly serving homes across Lincoln, Omaha, and surrounding areas, and ready 24/7. Visit calljh.com or call John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
Graham Tire presents life's greatest adventures.
Okay, buddy, here we go. Just keep your eye on the ball. All right, just swing right through it. Yeah, good job. Way to go. Hey, run it out. Okay.
Great road trips start with great service. Graham Tire, your tire store next door, with 5 convenient Lincoln locations, getting you to the places that matter most.
Dillon's Auto reminds listeners as our troops return home, many are left unemployed and deserted. Over 1 million veterans across the United States are currently looking for jobs despite having special skills and elite military training. Let's welcome troops with open arms and make 2026 a year to hire smart and hire veterans. Dillon's Auto. For all your auto needs and more, call the pros at Dillon's Auto today at 402-477-0404. That's 402-477-0404. Dillon's Auto, on the air because they care.
Nutrition Authority presents Fusion 30, an ultra premium protein ideal for anyone wanting to look, feel, and perform their best. Fusion 30 can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today for a free sample, visit with a certified nutritionist, and get better than internet pricing. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Imagine if the people who work at your bank were neighbors who could help with a home loan.
Congratulations, you're approved.
Or friends who love to shop local.
Have a good one.
At UBT, who you work with matters just as much as what you're working toward.
Hey, thanks for helping.
That's why your money has more than a banker. It has people. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
The one and only Monster Jam. Big air, backflips, and all-out racing. See the world's best drivers tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks. The fun begins at the pit party, where you can meet the drivers, get autographs, take pictures, and see the trucks up close. Get your pit party pass at monsterjam.com today. Must have valid event ticket to enter pit party. Restrictions may apply. Rules and activities are subject to change. Visit website for event details. Coming to Pinnacle Bank Arena May 2nd and 3rd.
In communities like ours, local relationships still matter. At Insight Partners, we believe we are better together. That's why insurance agencies across the Midwest have joined Insight Partners to better serve local customers and communities with all their insurance needs. From personal to commercial or specialty insurance, your local Insight Partners team is here to help protect what matters most. Insight Partners, better together. Learn more at myInsPartners.com.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. And wow, what a great spring it has been here. We've had record sales happening at Koppel. And to show our appreciation, Koppel is giving out employee pricing on select new models. Yes, you heard that right. Employee pricing is happening right now at Koppel on select new models. So please stop on in the store and see the team, or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. Some rebates to dealer.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Big thanks to Brian Munson for joining us on our Allo Fiber VIP line. Austin Orman, Jay Foreman back with you. Thanks to Heartland of Nebraska Windows for sponsoring hour one of the show. All sorts of great stuff going on down there. To learn more, you can visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com, or you can give them a call for more info, 402-430-3852. Jay, NBA awards getting handed out throughout the course of the week, one at a time, one every night through the rest of the week. Tonight, we are beginning with the Defensive Player of the Year, Minnesota's very own Chet Holmgren, Asar Thompson, and Victor Wembanyama. Who's your pick?
Oh, it's Wemby. Easy.
Not going for the Minnesota Alliance?
Chet's a close second. But I think Chet really gained his prowess last year in the finals, but Wemby's been so dominant.
Most improved player, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Cousins, of course, with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yeah.
Denny Avdija and Jalen Duren. Any opinion there?
Walker.
Think it's Walker?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think his jump, he went from averaging like 8.7 points to 20, pretty much 21 points.
Mm-hmm.
Now they had to move some guys out, but I mean, in 1 year, essentially, you have an uptick in 15 points per game.
Mm-hmm.
And you have some good, young players on the roster, so it's not like he's on like Portland or something like that, or some scrub team.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, I think it's him, and they kind of mentioned it. I think this weekend when they played in the playoff game, how much he's improved, and he'd be up for it and probably would win it.
Avdija, a couple weeks ago, had a little bit of a smear campaign against him, foul baiting, unethical hoops, that sort of thing. I think he's taken an absolute leap. I would be hard-pressed to go against Jalen Duren, though, because Cade Cunningham's not going to get a bunch of love. And so Duren going from, a good player, legit rotation guy, to second most important player on the East's best team is really hard for me to ignore. The counting stats, obviously, and the increases would favor Nickeil Alexander-Walker. A couple more then to get to Rookie of the Year. VJ Edgecombe gets a nomination. Seems like it's down to Cooper Flagg or Con Knipple. Do you have a preference there?
I'd like to see him Knipple, man, the way he's kind of finished and he's in the playoffs is probably going to – I'd like to see him be Rookies of the Year.
Had to divide those votes perfectly.
Yeah, I know. I'd probably say Cooper Flagg. I mean, look, he's the number one pick. He came in and he's been all that's advertised and then some.
Mm-hmm.
And he's done it in a little bit, adverse, situation. Kyrie's not healthy, not playing. Clay is kind of, whatever. And then, they got rid of Anthony Davis. Yeah. So he went from kind of like just figuring it out as a rookie to like, here you go. You do everything for us. And then he did it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'd probably say Cooper Fleck.
I am not picking between favorite children there in that one. You can't make me. Coach of the Year, J.B. Bickerstaff from Detroit, Mitch Johnson from San Antonio, or Joe Mazzulla from Boston.
I'm going to go Bickerstaff. Even though they dookie down their leg the other day. Or
last night.
Yeah. I'd go Bickerstaff. I think the way he's kind of got Detroit to where they're at in contention. Mazzulla's done a really good job at Boston, but I think Bickerstaff has done an excellent job with them, and they've gotten better since last year. And they've been really, pretty dang consistent.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go with him.
Then, Clutch Player of the Year, SGA, Ant-Man, Bloodline.
Dang. You know what? I'm going to go Bloodline.
There we go.
I'm going to go Bloodline. This is the year that he could be possibly, they were saying, maybe second team all NBA. I'm going to go Bloodline.
The man did make the All-Star game.
I'm going to go with Bloodline.
Okay.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, folks. Jamal Murray.
Yeah, keeping that bloodline going.
Okay. Let's talk some NFL draft in hour 2. That's right ahead.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Team needs a good game plan, and Nebraska's business community is no different. The Nebraska Chamber is helping businesses across our state grow, hire, and compete. We're working on real solutions that matter: more housing for our growing workforce, investment in infrastructure that grows our state, and higher paying jobs. It all adds up to a stronger Nebraska and a stronger future. Learn how you can get involved at nechamber.com.
The University of Nebraska Rodeo Association is excited to announce the 2026 Nebraska Cornhusker College Rodeo. Come on out to Sandhills Global Event Center May 1st and 2nd. Cheer on the University of Nebraska Rodeo team as they take on teams from all across the Great Plains region. Friday is college night, and Saturday afternoon, kids attend free with purchase of adult GA ticket at the door. Advance tickets on sale now at sandhillsglobaleventcenter.org. Don't miss the Nebraska Cornhusker College Rodeo, May 1st and 2nd.
In communities like ours, local relationships still matter. At Insight Partners, we believe we are better together. That's why insurance agencies across the Midwest have joined Insight Partners to better serve local customers and communities with all their insurance needs. From personal to commercial or specialty insurance, your local Insight Partners team is here to help protect what matters most. Insight Partners, better together. Learn more at myinspartners.com.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
John just tried Runza's new Jammin' Bacon Cheeseburger with its sweet heat bacon jam, pepper jack cheese, bacon, and cream cheese.
Whoa, this burger's like totally...
What?
You know, boom, 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 boom.
Not sure I'm getting it.
It's totally jammin'?
Ah, I see. Well, don't jam with your mouth full. Try the Jammin' Bacon Cheeseburger. Because from the way we make it to the way it makes you feel, Runza makes it all better.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. And wow, what a great spring it has been here. We've had record sales happening at Koppel. And to show our appreciation, Koppel is giving out employee pricing on select new models. Yes, you heard that right. Employee pricing is happening right now at Koppel on select new models. So please stop on in the store and see the team or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. Some rebates a dealer.
Graham Tire presents life's greatest adventures.
Okay, buddy, here we go. Just keep your eye on the ball. All right, just swing right through it. Yeah, good job. Way to go. Hey, run it out, run it out, run it out. Okay.
Great road trips start with great service. Graham Tire, your tire store next door, with 5 convenient Lincoln locations, getting you to the places that matter most.
Sandhills Global is growing right here in Lincoln. With our expanding campus and continued growth, we're hiring across a wide range of careers, from interns to experienced professionals. Join the team at Sandhills Global and build your career with competitive pay, great benefits, and real opportunities to grow. Visit sandhills.jobs to view openings and apply today. That's sandhills.jobs.
Imagine if the people who work at your bank were neighbors who could help with a home loan.
Congratulations. You're approved.
Or friends who love to shop local.
Have a good one.
At UBT, who you work with matters just as much as what you're working toward.
Hey, thanks for helping.
That's why your money has more than a banker. It has people. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get 1 half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney locations. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln, this is Old School with Foreman and Orman. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Coy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score! Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black shirts answer the call one more time.
And Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln, your tire store next door with 4 Lincoln locations. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right. Welcome in hour 2 of the show. Austin and Jay with you till 6. Royals and Orioles on the air at 6 p.m. for a 6:40 first pitch. That is all in the future. Not quite as, actually a little nearer than the NFL draft, which is where we turn our attention to here. While teams spin their wheels thinking about who they're going to pick, you don't need to spin yours when it comes to worrying about taking care of your car. Graham Tire Company is celebrating 75 years of serving the Midwest. More than just tires, they do all kinds of car and light truck repairs too. From brakes to oil changes, trust Graham Tire for service you can count on. Graham Tire, getting you to the places that matter most. Jay, we're going to dive into Box, Arizona Cardinals. A lot of different messages coming out of Glendale, Greater Phoenix area, about that number 3 overall pick. Your GM, Monty Austinfort, what are you doing with it?
Oh, man. Well, if I'm him, obviously I'm trying to hold on to it. I don't know, was it 15 minutes on the clock? I'm getting to like 13 minutes down. I'm trying to field every single offer. I'm going to try to trade down, but not too low, because I think I'm going to get Ty Simpson. I don't want to I don't want to overdraft him, but I want to get him at a good viable spot, but I want to be able to build for the future, especially offensively if I'm picking him, because I get my quarterback of the future, which could be the now. I have Jacoby Brissett, and then also I have my bell cow out there is Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't want to mess this up because he needs a guy that he can obviously, grow with.
Kind of like what the Giants did last year with Jackson Dart?
Yeah, and you never know. I think the idea of a franchise quarterback used to be 10 years. Now I think it's a 4 to 5 year stint.
That's one contract.
I know. I don't think just the way the NFL is, they're not keeping coaches and GMs that long. So is he really a franchise quarterback? I mean, is Jackson Dart, do you I think he's above average quarterback that potentially could be a franchise quarterback. He's nowhere close to that right now.
No.
And there's no guarantee. So, like seeing Peyton Manning, the Dan Marinos, the Aaron Rodgers, when they first stepped on the field, like, yeah, that's a franchise quarterback. It's just a matter of time. With Jackson Dart, it's up in the air. That's why I think it's only like 4 to 6 years. I mean, Daniel Jones was drafted by the Giants almost in the same spot.
Darn near.
They gave him franchise quarterback money. Didn't even last the season. Now he's a franchise quarterback somewhere else. But with the Giants, it was 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
The same.
How many franchise quarterbacks are there in the NFL right now? Mahomes,
Allen, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert,
Lamar.
Yep, Lamar, Joe Burrow, Joe Shiesty. I'll give Sam Darnold it, right? You won a Super Bowl.
My counter argument to Sam Darnold would be, I think he's kind of the poster boy for what could be the Ty Simpson argument. Well, probably not, because Simpson's not going to go that high. But I think Darnold and Jalen Hurts are in this conversation as two sides of the same coin, where the Eagles won when Hurts was on his rookie deal. Then he got his extension, right? They got a cheap young quarterback, and they said, oh, yeah, we like this guy. He's a good leader. And I know we've talked about the drama they have going on. The flip side of that was the Jets tried to win quick with a rookie quarterback. Didn't happen, and he developed into a quarterback down the line.
I think he's borderline franchise. So he's not in that upper echelon.
See, when how important is it for a franchise quarterback to be with the same organization that drafted them? Because Darnold grew into one, but he also wasn't the cornerstone that outlasted the GM or the head coach.
Quarterback's a position. It's imperative that you have a great coach and you have to have the structure around it, and the Jets weren't it. I think he's second tier franchise.
Okay.
But another first team guy is Matthew Stafford.
Okay.
Right? Like franchise.
Yep. Trevor. Tier 3?
I think he's tier 2/3. CJ Stroud, tier 2/3. Drake May, tier 2. Middle tier 2.
Cam Ward.
Definitely 3. 2, 3.
Okay. I'd say 3 right now, ascending
I'll
to
just
2.
say, you know what? I'm gonna put him in 2. There's some guys that are just hot garbage. Kyler Murray is 3.
Baker.
Oh, he's not. For me, I would start it with Baker, even though he's a little long in the 2. Yeah, he's a franchise quarterback to me.
Bottom of tier 2, middle of tier 2.
Baker.
Yeah. Top of tier 2.
Bottom of 1, top of tier 2.
Okay. Bryce Young.
I was just about to say him. Let's just say middle to lower tier 2. If the worst case, top tier 3, because I would still want to see some more. I think with him, more than anything, he needs structure. But like Slough in New Orleans, he's tier 3 right now, but he's ascending.
Okay.
Right? But he only did it for a short stint of time, right? So who else did we miss?
So from the text line.
Cleveland, hot garbage.
Yeah, Jordan Love.
Man, that's the hardest guy to evaluate. He did it before he got paid. It's like he's 3 games on. He's like, I call him wax on, wax off. 3 games on, 3 games off.
Mr. Karate Kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tier 2.
Okay. Brock Purdy.
I'm a believer now, but he's still tier 2 to me.
He's bottom of 2, top of 3 for me.
He's middle of tier 2 for me. But I'm a believer.
You are.
Yeah. Tier 2.
Okay.
What about Daniel Jones? Danny Dimes, tier 3?
Bottom of 2, top of 3. Situation dependent, like Purdy for me.
Who are we missing?
We got some more names from the text line here. Okay. Dak Prescott.
See, I like Dak.
Dak's balling now.
But I still think he's still tier 2.
Okay.
He's an overpaid tier 2. You could start a franchise with him. I don't know. I still think there's you talked about Sam Darnold out in the Jets. That's guaranteed. It's no different than with Dallas. Only thing that Dallas is essentially blinded you with offensive talent. Really?
Yeah.
And had McCarthy and a really good offensive coordinator. So is Dak? Everybody said Dak can't win the big game. Has he really been in the position to win a big game? He had a record-setting offense with a horrible defense. You trade away the best defensive player.
Cost himself a shot, maybe with the slide on
Against
4th down. Yeah. In the playoffs. Jared Goff.
I like him. Yes, tier 1. Lower tier 1. I like him. He's got that dog in him.
Caleb Williams.
Tier 2. But he's ascending, though. We got to see.
Rather have for the next 5 years, Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels?
Man, that's tough. That's tough because Jaden Daniels was hurt all year, and then Caleb Williams is fresh in our mind.
Yep.
But if I had to do it, I don't know. I'm going Jaden Daniels.
Are you going Jaden Daniels?
I just trust his mind, like like he's just more dug in.
So Williams is a tier 1 talent, maybe a tier 2.5 mindset. You still worried about that?
But I think he's actively trying to get his mind right. That's why he made a huge. So I think in a year from now he's going to be tier 1.
Is Caleb Williams good enough to get the Bears fans to forget about the stadium drama?
I think the Bears are good enough to do so.
Okay, then I think he can be a franchise guy.
Yeah, this year is not going to tell it all, but this is going to be a big step because you go from under the radar, out of nowhere, the hunter. Now you're going to be hunted. Now the expectations are higher. The Vikings are down. We just talked about Jordan Love. He's probably not going to, make it all year. And then you got Jared Goff, and the Detroit is a wounded dog.
Yeah.
This is the year for you to take that huge. And a lot of times I compare Chicago's situation to a couple of years when we were in Houston, when you finished that last quarter of the season and next year is the year. You get the harder schedule, get expectations and things. Guys don't grow in the off season and spend too much time, growing their brand in the off season. You'd be disappointed. And you're trying to get a new stadium. Be over there in Indiana, Gary, Indiana, of all places. Between
at least it ain't Muncie.
Between Memphis and Gary, Indiana, those are 2 places I ain't trying to go to. Gary, Indiana is roguish too.
So you'll go to Utah before you go to Memphis and Gary.
No, but you know what? My Utahnians, whatever you call yourselves.
Utahns.
Utahites. You know what? I'm waving the white flag. This is the
peace offering.
This is the peace offering.
Olive branch.
I'll go to Utah.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to Utah. If LES Barbecue is out there, the brother from Texas cooking oxtails and growing the business, then Jay Foreman can go there.
Fair enough. American Nightmare. I don't think this is a fair question to ask this program, but we'll ask it anyways. Next 5 years, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
I think pretty clearly. There's an argument maybe for the next 10 years. I might take Joe Burrow, except that I think he's too injury prone for a guy that doesn't run that much. He's had some weird ones, especially to start the year. And I mean, like we've seen with, Mahomes and Allen both, they're not just out of system merchants, right? Both those guys have really developed their ability to play in the pocket. Plus they have that other ability. I'm not worried about what Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen look like, when they lose their ability to scramble, they lose a step, because I think they've gotten so much better in the pocket, whereas that's all Burrow has. And you tend to think of guys like that are master manipulators, the Tom Brady mold, the Peyton Manning mold. Man, those guys just know how to move around. They can make it work. But Burrow's had some weird injuries. He's already missed a year plus due to various injuries. And so even though Allen is, the guy that runs more, he's been more durable than Joe Burrow.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing about Joe, it's like, you went, you came in there and you really, took off in the playoffs, and then you kind of got to your apex, got to the Super Bowl, and it's been tough sledding there. I just think Josh Allen, his improvement in the pocket and accuracy is just, you can't understate it. And I think you just wish that he had a little bit, maybe more Joe Burrow ball security in him, like a decision making, because up there in Denver, I mean, dude, you run all over. I mean, you just are unstoppable. But the 4 turnovers, you can't do that as a franchise quarterback. I don't care if you're playing at home, away, or on Mars. You can't do that.
It's different, too, in the NFL, because I think in college you could say, oh, well, they just need a defense that forces takeaways.
Yeah.
But in the NFL, I mean, teams play slower than they do in college. You can't just speed the game up when you want to speed the game. Maybe you can at the very highest levels. But I think for Josh Allen, it's that's a guy that would bear out better the more possessions. I think he would create more touchdowns, but he also, a little more risk, a little more reward in the Bruce Arians style. But unless you have a defense that's going to pick you up and get you back, it's almost more about turnover or giveaway avoidance than turnover creation sometimes.
Yeah, and that's what you've seen, what made Tom Brady so great, and We saw it with Eli when they won their first Super Bowl. Like, you just got out of your own way. That's what the Patriots' way was for 20 years, and it was dominating. And obviously they had some really good players, but you don't turn the ball over in crunch time, and you keep it, more times than not, you'll score some points, and the other team will break. Versus like where you think about Buffalo, and I think Joe Burrow does a good job of this, but their team isn't very good, and he's injury prone, is that Josh Allen in adverse time either misses a wide open crosser like he should have hit Stephon Diggs against the Chiefs that one year.
Yeah.
And then a couple of plays later, Stephon Diggs drops the Hall of Fame catch. If he catches that touchdown, that's 63. He's in Canton. Straight up, no doubt about it. And so those are the things you have to get better at. And there's a lot of pressure on Josh Allen. That's the flip side of Joe Burrow, because Josh Allen is talent deficient at the skill position.
Whereas that's all since he's invested in.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's easier. I give Josh Allen a little bit more grace because of it, because his mindset has to change, or it had to be.
Yeah.
I got to take it's no risk it, no biscuit, because that's what you got. You got Keon Coleman over there. Don't even know if he's going to be on the team this year, or a tight end, right? You got Shakir, who's good.
But not great, not elite.
But good in his role.
Yeah.
Great in his role. You got two pretty good tight ends, but you got to be able to stretch the field vertically or make 50-50 balls. And they haven't been able to do so.
Nick Spoley, we see your question as well. There's a couple things I want to get to here yet in this segment, though. The rumors for the Cardinals pick, Jay, to get back to where we started the segment. We'll get to the Bengals and their trade next segment. Jeremiah Love has been considered as an option for them at number 3. They've also been in rumors to either trade back to number 9 with Kansas City or back to number 12 with Dallas. Any of those options between Love, number 9, or number 12 stand out to you for Arizona, and then either the Chiefs or Cowboys?
I think, if I'm Arizona, I'm trying to trade back to 12.
Okay.
I think if any team takes Love as a running back, like I seen him where he came out today, could go 3.
To Arizona.
Yeah. I seen him. Some people initially were saying he could go to Tennessee. He's great. He's good, right? Come on, man.
Yeah.
I mean, are you serious right now? You're essentially just putting him in the same category as Saquon. It's not happening.
Right.
But go ahead and take him. We'll trade out of it. Have at it. Now, are they?
You can take that risk. We don't want.
But are they bluffing Arizona out of that position, which would make them think that? Would make Arizona think they're dumb enough to take him. They're actually not. They're actually getting a player that maybe Arizona might be okay with if they don't get Simpson. So you get you the double whammy. I don't know. If I'm Arizona, I'm trading back.
If you're Kansas City, are you trading up to number 3? What do you do to number 3? Are you staying put? You're trying to trade back?
If I'm Kansas City and I'm going up to number 3, considering where we're at right now, I'm getting whatever the offensive lineman. I don't know who it would be.
Ooh, any of those guys good enough to go number 3 though?
No, but if the only way, if I'm Kansas City, if I'm jumping way, like they already got Kenneth Walker, so you're not getting Love.
No.
Okay. You don't need a quarterback.
You're not taking Jordan Tyson at 3,
right?
Or Tate.
You're not taking any receiver at 3.
Would you take best available between Bailey and Reese at 3?
Okay, now we're talking. Now if I'm
or Bain, I suppose.
If I'm going to pick anybody, if I'm Kansas City, I'm taking Bailey or Reese, and I'm trading George Kalostis. I'm trading him to a pass rush hungry and stupid team. So because do you
keep him for this year since you extended him to give your rookie a little bit of help and then you trade him next year?
Well, I'm trying to use that money to keep Chris Jones. Because I'm expecting Chris Jones.
The NFL's Draymond Green.
I'm expecting Chris Jones to come back motivated. Right?
Okay.
I'm expecting that. But if that's what I'm Kansas City, if I'm jumping up there, you're right. If I'm jumping up to 3, I'm getting a pass rusher. The best pass rusher right now, and the most productive, the most reliable, the guy that you can go to bat for and feel very comfortable leaving the war room. I've been in there before. Is Bailey. He did it at Stanford. He did it at Texas Tech. He has a plethora of moves. He's really good against the run. He's excellent, obviously, rushing the passer. He showed an ability to drop, and he's trump tight off the field. And he's a guy that's continuing to get better. But if I want a difference maker, though, to go with the one-man gang when he's motivated and in shape, I'm going with the cyborg, the modern-day version of the good player in the more durable LeVar Arrington, and that's Averill Reese. He is flat out right now. When I did the black shirt breakdown of him, Ohio State defense against Minnesota, and Ohio State defense against Washington, he is flat out. Him and Caleb Downs are the two best defensive players in the draft, bar none. He has the most potential of a defensive player in the last 10 years, and it's not
since Myles Garrett.
Yes, since Myles Garrett. Has Myles Garrett been in the league 10 years? It seems like he's been
I think it was the
right.
16 draft,
Right.
wasn't he?
Right. It's about
17 draft.
But what I'm saying this is that's Myles. He's Myles Garrett, but his motor.
2017
but
first
his
overall.
motor. Myles Garrett only knock was the motor because it was too easy for him in college.
Yeah.
This dude has the motor. This dude has the potential. Two different positions, but he is also able to be developed to a dominating factor. He can cover. He can rush the passer. He can play the run. He's strong. He's tough as nails, right? And he has good leadership skills. And you can play him anywhere. You can play him in the slot. You can play him one-on-one against these big tight ends now. You can play him as a stack linebacker. You can play him as a defensive end. He's rushed over the guards as a mug technique and got home. And there's nothing that he hasn't done that Matt Patricia hasn't done as a pro level with him. So if I'm really trying to make some noise in the AFC West, knowing who Denver got as a tight end, and then who the Raiders have as a tight end, and then
Harbaugh's going to use him.
Kaki's going to use a tight end, fullback. Well, and they already have one, Gadsden.
Yeah.
That's the dude I picked. I don't have to go get a safety. I got a linebacker that can do that.
The other team mentioned in trades over the last couple days, the Dallas Cowboys, who have been linked to Sonny Styles. Really good player. Not sure if he's number 3 overall in terms of contractual value, but again, I know you're pretty high on Sonny Styles, what he can be in the NFL as well. Is it worth Dallas going all the way up to number 3 for him, or do you think they should get maybe closer to the middle of the quote unquote lottery?
I like Sonny Styles, and this is the thing, you got to get off the internet because the Giants have been linked to him too,
and we'll get to them next
right.
segment.
And so you have to worry about some of these guys that put tapes out there. Where Sonny Styles, I just wonder if he's more athlete versus player. But for Dallas, I think he covers up a lot. That you get him with Overstreet. They already kind of have it, but I think he's doesn't have the injury history. He's bigger. I think he can provide a pass rush as well. It's just looking at his physical attributes. So if I'm Dallas, obviously Bailey's not going to be there. And I have no problem getting Sonny Styles. If I don't trade up and get Sonny Styles, if I'm Dallas, then they're going to probably go like Parker, defensive lineman, Woods.
Yeah.
That's a stretch at 12, though.
So then you're trading down into the 20s, or you're trading down out of the first round?
I'm trading down in the 20s. That's because I like it right there. Then if I don't get Sonny Styles, then maybe you take a reach in the second or third round and try to get Rodriguez. Maybe you get Allen from, like, Dallas really needs a thumper in the middle.
Sure.
I'm going to get Allen from Georgia. You know exactly what he's made of. You know exactly who he's been coached by. You know he has the leadership skills, and his production was off the change this year. If I need a middle guy and we're not 100% sold on Sonny Styles.
Yeah.
But that's hard to pass up 6'5.5" and 4.3 40.
Pedigree.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, I think you can. I think it's the same thing. I think if I'm Dallas and I don't know Jerry Jones, he's thinking like, yeah, that's my Brian Urlacher. That's exactly what he's thinking.
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
Really, really, just because he only played middle once this year. So he's raw. He's inexperienced. So you get him a good coach defensively with that athletic ability. Brian Urlacher in Chicago, they tried to have him play over the tight end. Looked horrible.
Not good.
Put him in the middle. He becomes a Hall of Fame player. That's it.
That's it for that segment. It's not it for our NFL draft discussion. Cincy swings a trade for Dexter Lawrence.
Man.
Straight up for the number 10 overall
Did
pick.
you hear the background on it?
There's a lot of
what they could have
background on
done.
it. What they could have done.
And they cost themselves some money.
They did. Shocker. Cincinnati costing themselves some
And
money.
the Giants.
We'll talk about that when we get back to Old School.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Graham Tire presents life's greatest adventures.
Okay, buddy, here we go. Just keep your eye on the ball. All right, just swing right through it. Yeah, good job. Way to go. Hey, run it out, run it out, run it out. Okay.
Great road trips start with great service. Graham Tire, your tire store next door, with 5 convenient Lincoln locations, getting you to the places that matter most.
Are you looking for a fresh new hangout spot? Let me tell you about Liquid Assets Sports Bar, where Mondays mean new weekly drink and food features. With 23 taps, a full lineup of cans and bottles, and 40 TVs blasting every sports package out there, you'll never worry about missing a play. Savor high-end spirits at their stylish top-shelf bar, enjoy a healthy menu, family-friendly atmosphere, and catch all of your favorite teams every day. Doors open daily at 11 a.m. Liquid Assets Sports Bar, located at 2755 Jamie Lane in South Lincoln.
The one and only Monster Jam. Big air, backflips, and all-out racing. See the world's best drivers tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks. The fun begins at the pit party, where you can meet the drivers, get autographs, take pictures, and see the trucks up close. Get your pit party pass at monsterjam.com today. Must have valid event ticket to enter pit party. Restrictions may apply. Rules and activities are subject to change. Visit website for event details. Coming to Pinnacle Bank Arena May 2nd and 3rd.
Zach Bryan with Heaven on Tour.
Poison myself again. Something in the orange tells me you'll never come.
Saturday, April 25th, Memorial Stadium.
Wish I didn't, but I do.
With special guests, Kings of Leon and J.R. Carroll. Tickets are on sale now at ZachBryan.com.
I think I heard you coming.
Don't miss Zach Bryan live.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings, thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get 1 half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney locations. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere air seeder during Landmark Implement's early order program. Take your seeding performance to the next level with John Deere's advanced air seeding technology. Achieve precise seed and fertilizer placement. With innovative openers and section control, you can maximize efficiency and reduce input costs. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year during Landmark Implement's air seeder early order program. Contact your local Landmark location for details and experience the Landmark difference.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their contact us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
Need an adventure? How about the bright lights of Vegas? The magic of Orlando? Or the sunshine of Orange County? Now you can reach them all with new flights from LNK on Breeze Airways. Stretch out, relax, and enjoy the flight. Your vacation starts the moment you board at LNK. Book today at LincolnAirport.com. LNK. Make flying easy.
April is Parkinson's Awareness Month, and guys, this is your reminder to take your health seriously. If you've noticed tremors, stiffness, or slower movement, don't ignore it. Parkinson's disease affects men more often, and early detection can make all the difference. This spring, take control. Get answers, take action. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they're helping you spring back into health with advanced technology and compassionate care, because your health isn't something to put off. Advanced Medical Imaging, your diagnosis, their priority.
Want to make the easy call? Call John Henry's. From leaky pipes to a broken AC, flickering lights to furnace fights, even drains and duct cleaning, we've got it handled. Plumbing, heating, air, and electrical, all under one trusted roof. Proudly serving homes across Lincoln, Omaha, and surrounding areas, and ready 24/7. Visit calljh.com or call John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. And wow, what a great spring it has been here. We've had record sales happening at Koppel. And to show our appreciation, Koppel is giving out employee pricing on select new models. Yes, you heard that right. Employee pricing is happening right now at Koppel on select new models. So please stop on in the store and see the team, or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. Some rebates to dealer.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. It is Old School. Halfway through the show, Austin Orman, Jay Foreman with you. Big thanks to Schwiezo Construction for their sponsorship of Old School. At Schwiezo Construction, safety isn't just a policy, it's a promise. Schwiezo is hiring skilled craftsmen, laborers, concrete workers, and steel erectors who value quality work and a team that has your back both on and off the job site. You can apply today at schwiezo.com, schwisow.com. 40 years strong in business, Schwiezo Construction. Jay, the Giants are in business with now 2 picks in the top 10 of this 2026 NFL draft. They acquired the second one from the Cincinnati Bengals in exchange for Dexter Lawrence, who then passes the physicals and gets handed a 1-year, $28 million extension. Your reaction to that move for both sides?
Well, I mean, the Giants, they said they floated a 3-year deal. I don't know how much the money was at the combine. John Harbaugh.
Probably not $28 million a year.
Yeah, and he has no more guaranteed money. The narrative is that he's came off a down year. You know, he only had a half a sack. Now, the team was horrible, and the defense was horrible without him on the field. So
Yeah.
I think he has an argument saying that, well, when I was on the field, we were top 10 defense. There's a reason. And his presence allowed Burns and company to
Thibodeau
and the young rookie from Penn State, when he decided not to fall asleep.
Abdul Carter.
He had a pretty good breakout in second half of his year,
Mhm.
all based on worrying about him. So for him, I understand he's a established player, no more guarantees. He's only 28 years old, forced the hand. But Giants were able to get another pick, and they're trying to rebuild their program. So it's a positive for the Giants, and it's a positive for Dexter Lawrence, because he got guaranteed money this year, $28 million,
Mhm.
and he'll be a free agent. He'll be back if he has a good year. He'll be able to maybe double that next year.
Yeah.
So for him, it's great. It's a win-win for everybody.
Hmm.
It's not a win-win for how business was handled, though.
Yeah, tell people about that.
Well, these trades like this, these draft day trades, are usually done before the draft. The way you handle it is, so for instance, when I got traded, it wasn't a draft day. It wasn't a draft day trade. When I was going to get traded, my agent kind of knew. I didn't know, but by the time I left the practice after getting hype on Tom Donahoe and Greg Williams, is that the agent was like, "Don't tell anybody. Don't tell your." At that time, my girlfriend, don't tell your dad, don't tell anybody. Keep your mouth, he was like, STFU, pretty much.
Mhm.
Don't tell anybody. So back to the Giants and Dexter Lawrence and Cincy. In order first of all, everybody knows, as we've seen with the Laker trade, with Connect Four and all, if they want you to pass the physical, as long as it's not anything outstanding, like crazy, like you were told that he's healthy and he has like, a broken neck,
4 bone spurs, and
or just, can't play,
right.
You're going to pass the physical. So the physical, you could have flown somebody to Dexter Lawrence's house. You could have had him go to a close clinic by his house. You could have had him just pretty much drive himself somewhere. You could have done it different ways to keep it on the down low. Reason why you want to do this is because if you're Cincinnati, that you're going to be giving out the pick, or the Giants and you have the pick, you can drive up the price for somebody that wants to drive or that wants to trade into that slot. Right? So that number 9 pick is somebody that might think you're holding pat there. You make the trade, then it allows the Giants to, and if it goes through on trade or draft day, the Giants can make another trade down 3 more spots, get another first round pick or a future first round pick or a couple second round picks. Now that you did it a week before the draft, now you allow teams to recover and game plan for the draft. So now they can start picking to where and really get a good beat on where you want to go. And other teams can. So everybody's their cards are kind of played. It's like if you're at Warhorse Casino and you're playing blackjack and you make a move and messes up the whole table, which I would probably do because I'm not really that good. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they did. Now it's done. They really want to get the business done, but ultimately it could affect the draft. But I've been told from some sources, or just their thought, not some sources they don't control, that this could be a really trade movement type of draft. Now that tells you more about the talent. That means there's not lock and step. Hey, this guy's going here at 6. This guy's can't go any lower than 8. There's not a lot of off the field trouble guys, but there's a lot of guys that are kind of just in the middle. And if you want a better or a great example of that, look at Caleb Downs. He's, like I said, he's
top 5 football player in the draft.
Top 5 football player in the draft. Top 2 defensive player in the draft. Very consistent, great in the locker room, has done everything you need to do on the field and off the field. And people were like, now they're trying to bring in the safety from Arizona and all that. So they're looking for reasons not to draft you now. You couldn't do anything else. What could else Caleb Downs have done? So that's let you know that there's not a lot of separation at some positions. I think there's going to be a lot of wide receivers drafted in the first round. It's all going to be styles or the eye test. I think the offensive line run is going to go early. Then that could affect the whole draft. And for somehow, some way, if Ty Simpson drops or he gets drafted a couple picks too high, and a team is quarterback needy, look for a desperation move, which then could bring up like a Cole Payton or somebody like that, Nebraska's own or something like that, who's making a lot of waves now with his showings in the offseason. Then all of a sudden they slide into the first round.
Yeah.
And then they say, screw the 2027 class.
The Bengals probably won't be one of those teams that's overly active. They trade away their 1 first-round pick. Their next pick wouldn't be till number 41 in the second round. They only have 1 second, 1 third, 1 fourth rounder, and then 2 6s and 2 7s. That's why I'm maybe a little bit confused about this from the Cincinnati aspect of things, Jay. They didn't feel like they were just a Dexter Lawrence away. Now, I know he can tie a lot together. Like you mentioned, that Giants defense being top 10 when he's on the field. There's just so many holes in that Cincy defense that I understand you bet on talent and you go get a good player, but at the expense of a top 10 draft pick and to not, get any sort of draft compensation back, just straight up, you get a good player, you extend him, that's great. But there's a lot of holes there, which is why I kind of prefer the Giants end of the deal where they get number 5, they get number 10, they can consolidate if they want to, they can trade back, they can trade down. Giants have so many more options to your point, year 1 of the John Harbaugh, program. Was this a I have to win now move signed off on by Zach Taylor? Was this above his head? What's the rationale for Cincy here?
I don't know what the rationale is. I think like I said, they're dressing up like Halloween and they want to make it look like they're remedying the defense. But you got to think they have no pass rusher. Stewart was a bust last year. Trey Hendricks is gone. Hubbard
in your division,
right? Yeah, in the division. And Hubbard's at the crib. So the 2 guys that were really your bell cows on the outside, it was so bad you forced a guy that was still at a somewhat of a prime of his career and a local kid, Hubbard to out of nowhere retirement, and Trey Hendricks, and you just didn't want to pay.
Yeah.
And he keeps producing. Now, he's not really good against the run, but he can sack the quarterback. Now, you bring in Jonathan Allen and also Dexter Lawrence, so you feel good up the middle. But then you got rid of Wilson. Now, I thought Wilson was still really good. They really didn't, but he was your leader.
Right.
Cam Taylor-Britt, suspect at best. Now,
but also gone.
Also gone.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe rightfully so.
Yeah.
Kind of looked like it was, but
glad he's my problem now.
But then on the flip side, look at the Giants. They feel like Sam Roberts and Alexander played as good as Dexter Lawrence. Now, I think that's a byproduct of them not being Dexter Lawrence. You get
the whole scattering report game plan.
Well, it's just
thing.
It's look, dude. Dexter Lawrence is a guy that you have to you got to change your blocking schemes for.
Oh yeah.
These two guys are coming. It's like what we talk about Frager. You're not the starters. You're coming in. It's no knock. It's just the way it is. Yeah. I've been the guy that came off the bench, heated up a little bit. Let me tell you something. Those first 4 games when you're the starter was a lot different. I was like, dang.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. My expectations of 14 tackles a game went down to like 6 quickly, right? So it's a change. With Cincinnati, when you look at it right now, just look at their defense, right? Dexter Lawrence, is Miles Murphy there?
Doesn't seem like it.
Now they did sign Mafe from Baltimore, but he really was not much.
That's a bargain bin sort of thing
and he never played to his first round talent. Now you paid him like a big free agent, but he didn't perform like that. So you're still at 0 as far as like having a guy.
You haven't gotten better necessarily.
No, because you don't have anybody established. Just because you paid him a contract, that's a more indictment on you, not on his. Now, the market is the market, but you didn't have to pay him. Right. You chose to do this.
Mm-hmm. You said the market is the team, not him as the player.
Right. Now, just because the market is out there for other people doesn't mean the next up is getting that. Then you look at the rest of their defense. Barrett Carter, I think, is going to be a good player. Okay. In linebacker, Burks from the 49ers, I think he's a good player. I think that's probably one of their best free agent signings, so he's good. Feel good at your second level. Give him a break, right? And when you look at the defense now, the corners, DBs, from Dax Hill, Jordan Battle, Brian Cook, DJ Turner, and Jalen Davis, for the AFC North in a running division, okay. You start playing against like Josh Allen and those guys and throw like New England in there, expect them to be able to throw it more and all.
Mm-hmm.
And Trevor Lawrence, you in trouble.
Dax Hill's got to take a leap. Cook was fine, but clearly replaceable by Kansas City.
And you banked on, now it doesn't affect you this year, you had banked on having to pay Cam Taylor-Britt this year.
Right.
You assumed it.
Mm-hmm. Well, about that, not happening.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
Did not happen.
So I just think they, for them, if they can stay healthy offensively, they can do some damage in that AFC North.
Sure.
They're not fearing Pittsburgh. Baltimore is in a flux now.
Big time.
And there's no need to talk about Cincinnati or about Cleveland besides Myles Garrett and company.
Yeah.
And you know that you can kind of survive that because Cleveland's either going to throw a couple picks for touchdowns, and they are dead set on probably not starting Shador. They seem like they want to put in Deshaun Watson.
Of course they do.
Now, I'm going to tell you this, though.
Tell me this.
What if Cleveland makes a trade? Nobody will trade for Deshaun Watson, but if they're able to trade Dylan Gabriel somehow to somebody that really liked him.
Okay.
And maybe somebody else or some draft picks to jump up and either get Simpson or somebody else. But they can't.
I just don't like Simpson that much.
Well, I like him, but he's only had 13 starts.
Right.
That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just thinking what Cleveland can do to be Cleveland in this draft.
Well, Cleveland right now, number 6, number 24, number 39, number 70.
Who do they pick at 6?
I mean, it's got to go offense, right?
Okay. Receiver? O-line?
Like,
O-line? They got to go
probably.
O-line.
Probably. 24, do you take a receiver? someone that's dropped a little bit? Take a chance on someone, or
They gotta go. They gotta go O
I don't
line. O line. They gotta go O line, right?
Yep. Try to pull up a mock draft here really quick. Let's see here. This is from CBS Sports just a few days ago. Okay, at number 6, they have Cleveland trading out of number 6 to the Cowboys for the Cowboys to take Caleb Downs.
That's maybe a little stretch for a safety, but I can deal with it though.
Prior to the trade at number 10, CBS Sports had the Bengals taking Mansour Delaney. But then at number 12, within that hypothetical Cowboys trade, the Browns taking Spencer Fano from Utah, offensive tackle, to our point. And then at number 20, again, in a mock trade with the Cowboys, KC Concepcion. At 24, Emmanuel McNeil Warren at safety.
Like, that doesn't do anything for me. If I'm Cleveland, I might try to accumulate draft picks.
Yeah, trade down a couple more seconds or whatever. Yeah.
I mean, all those guys is like,
fine.
And I don't even want Fano to go there because I just think I just feel bad for you.
They ruin him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Straight up.
The next thing you know, they're talking about your bust. And how many guys are Cleveland signed in, whether free agency or draft, at the offensive line that just hasn't worked out?
Too many.
Yeah.
Full circle, though, for the Giants, though, to wrap up the segment. The Giants drafted Dexter Lawrence with the pick that they got for trading OBJ to Cleveland. Giants just brought OBJ back for a workout today.
Yeah. And it'd be interesting if they sign him. I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things that OBJ is one of those. He's kind of like Terrell Owens, where in OBJ for me, his height of his career was that catch in New York.
Oh yeah.
And ever since then, he's kind of been riding that. I think he's become a better locker room guy.
Yeah.
I think his time with the Rams has really done him well, and I think he wanted to do well in Baltimore, just was never given the opportunity. Got hurt a little bit. It'd be really cool to see him go back and see if he can have a positive effect with the Giants.
Give him one final 750-yard year, and
it might get another one. I think in the right, he's such a great athlete. He can play 2 or 3 more years. He's got to stay off the yacht.
Yeah.
None of that.
Yahtzee.
None of the parties, none of the the concerts and all that. You come back, I hate it for those guys like Terrell Owens, who could have still played, and it was like a black check mark on his career, and he's so good.
Yeah.
You got it's talent tolerance. T squared.
There you go.
There you go.
We'll go to break. We'll wrap up hour 2 after this.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their contact us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
Are you looking for a fresh new hangout spot? Let me tell you about Liquid Asset Sports Bar, where Mondays mean new weekly drink and food features. With 23 taps, a full lineup of cans and bottles, and 40 TVs blasting every sports package out there, you'll never worry about missing a play. Savor high-end spirits at their stylish top-shelf bar, enjoy a healthy menu, family-friendly atmosphere, and catch all of your favorite teams every day. Doors open daily at 11 a.m. Liquid Asset Sports Bar, located at 2755 Jamie Lane in South Lincoln.
When tacos and quesadillas join forces at Amigos, something seriously delicious happens. Quesadilla tacos. Crispy on the outside, gooey on the inside, folded taco style, and stuffed with bold seasoned flavor. It's like your favorite quesadilla and taco teamed up for the ultimate spring fling. With Tex-Mex, chicken, supreme, or steak, Amigos has a quesadilla taco for everyone. So hurry in. This tasty collab is here for a limited time only. Get the ultimate flavor fusion with quesadilla tacos at Amigos. When the weather heats up, cool down with Amigos' new frosted lemonades and limeades. Icy, fruity, and oh so refreshing. Start with a zesty lemonade or limeade base. Then choose blue raz, cherry, or strawberry to create your personalized flavor mix. Amigos tops it all with a swirl of frosty vanilla ice cream. Whether you're soaking up the sun or just need a cool pick-me-up, These frosty delights are summer in a glass. Chill out with a frosted lemonade at Amigos.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old-fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Rick Heyman here from Sauter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sauter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at SauterHeyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Zach Bryan with Heaven on Tour.
Poison myself again, something in the orange tells me you'll never come.
Saturday, April 25th, Memorial Stadium.
Wish I didn't, but I do.
With special guests, Kings of Leon and J.R. Carroll. Tickets are on sale now at ZachBryan.com.
I think I've heard you coming.
Don't miss Zach Bryan live.
Cinco de Mayo will be here before you know it on May 5th, and Tipsy Tina's is the place to be. Come down to 8th and Q starting at 2 p.m. on May 5th for the Street Festival, featuring piñatas, giveaways, and more. Plus, see llamas from Sweet and Sassy Llama Farm from 5:30 to 7:30. DJ Joe Cruz will entertain starting at 7 p.m. with a spicy taco eating contest at 7:30. And the best part, as always, no cover charge. It's the early Cinco de Mayo Street Festival with Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina, Tuesday, May 5th, beginning at 2 p.m. at 8th and Q.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at PAHLincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Are you looking for something different for lunch or dinner in Lincoln? Big 8 is now open at 1226 P Street, serving seafood boils and Asian cuisine. Get your hands messy with fresh, flavorful seafood boils, hot, cold, and made to share. Or enjoy classic Chinese and Asian dishes, perfect for lunch, dinner, or a night out with friends and family. Big flavors, generous portions, and a brand new dining experience. Big 8, now open in Lincoln.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into Old School. We are wrapping up hour 2 of the show. Plenty more to get to in a fun hour 3 ahead. Austin Norman here, Jay Foreman there. To our Sauter Heyman Jewelers text line we go here, Jay. Thomas in Lincoln says, you can pick one prime defensive end from NFL history. Not just modern, any defensive end, edge rusher in NFL history. Who do you want as the face of your defense?
That's tough.
There have been some good ones.
I would. Thomas and Lincoln probably doesn't remember Deacon Jones, but I would take that would probably be my first one.
Okay.
So the one that he would remember, and I'm rolling with him, even though he didn't know my name when I was my first year. And I'm going with Bruce.
Okay.
I've seen him. I've seen that. I mean, he just was unstoppable. I'm going with Bruce. And that's hard. I mean, that's now. If you would have said like outside rusher, period, LT. That's it. I mean,
he did say face of a defense, not face of a franchise, if that helps.
I'm going LT.
Okay.
There ain't even no question about it.
All right.
I'm taking LT.
Drew Carr's taking Jared Allen.
I like Jared Allen was cold-blooded, man.
Dang good player.
Yeah, really good player. Yeah, I mean, you think Reggie White, all these guys. I mean, you can't go wrong with any of these guys.
Thomas and Lincoln has taken J.J. Watt.
I don't mind that.
It's going to be really interesting when we get the J.J. versus T.J. comparison.
It's TJ.
In a few years.
J.J. has more like, was it defense MVPs or something?
Yeah.
I've told you the story about J.J. Watt, right?
Maybe.
When I was working with Houston.
Oh, yeah.
So we went up there and like literally Wade Phillips got up on the table and was like, this dude's the next Howie Long.
Mm-hmm.
And Houston almost didn't take him. And I'll be honest with you, I was like, he only had 8 sacks in college. He can't be that good. He's that good.
He ended up being that
He's
good.
that good.
Triple H's dad is taking Derek Thomas.
Ooh, yeah. He was a problem.
Yeah.
Man, I ran into Derek Thomas in Kansas City once.
Okay.
It was him and Bam Morris down in what's that thing called? The Port place down there?
Oklahoma Joe's?
No. Where you go down there and party. It's not that it's not Power and Light. What's the other one? We went downtown Kansas City kicking it. Young Jay Foreman was just wolfing. No, I didn't. I gave Derek Thomas. We dapped up, but that's when I told Bam Morris I was going to raise the roof on you. I told him, I'm knocking you out next year.
Woo!
That's probably why it's just I was feeling myself. But Derek Thomas was great. He was a great player.
Scott and Lincoln is going Ed Too Tall Jones.
Probably was not
Westport.
Westport. Yeah.
There you go. Okay. All right, let's get to hour 3. Plenty more to come on the show. Big thanks to Graham Tire Company for their sponsorship. 4 Lincoln locations. They've been serving the Midwest for 75 years now. They do great work. I'm about set to take my car back into Graham Tire. Be on the lookout, Graham Tire. I'm coming. Appreciate you for sponsoring Old School. Hour 3 ahead.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Spring is the time of new beginnings and trying new things. If you haven't tried Führer's cheese spread yet, the time is now. For parties for St. Patrick's Day and Easter or celebrating the NCAA tournament with friends, there's no better dip to bring everyone together and celebrate something from Nebraska. Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Führer's cheese spread. No event or party is complete without it on your table.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere air seeder during Landmark Implement's early order program. Take your seeding performance to the next level with John Deere's advanced air seeding technology. Achieve precise seed and fertilizer placement. With innovative openers and section control, you can maximize efficiency and reduce input costs. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year during Landmark Implement's air seeder early order program. Contact your local Landmark location for details and experience the Landmark difference.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Zach Bryan with Heaven on Tour.
Poison myself again. Something in the orange tells me you'll never come.
Saturday, April 25th, Memorial Stadium.
Wish I didn't, but I do.
With special guests, Kings of Leon and J.R. Carroll. Tickets are on sale now at ZachBryan.com.
I think I heard you coming.
Don't miss Zach Bryan live.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevenson Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevenson Smith Construction slams expectations.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement.
Hi, Charlie Stone again, and Andy Goodyear with Honda of Lincoln will be joining me to talk about the Honda Spring event. Andy, I know this is a big event for you. Please tell us all about it.
I want to start out by thanking the Lincoln car buyers for an incredible year in 2025. It's just been announced that Honda of Lincoln is Nebraska's only Honda dealer to earn the prestigious Honda President's Award for 2025.
Wow, that's great, Andy. How many times now have you earned that President's Award?
It's a total of 20 times now, Charlie. The Honda Spring event is truly a big event for us. We have incredible savings on every remaining 2025 and every new 2026. Special low rates, long-term financing, and special lease rates.
Maybe it's time you experience the best, the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln, this is Old School with Foreman and Orman. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Troy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score! Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black shirts answer the call one more time.
And Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln. Your tire store next door with 4 Lincoln locations. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, Hour 3, Jay Foreman, Austin Orman on this beautiful Monday, about 70 degrees, light breeze. Definitely a grilling day. That's how we're going to judge it. Is it a grilling day or not? It definitely is. This is Old School, the New School way, live in effect, 1040 O Street at the Ticket, ticketfm.com, #1 sports radio station in the state of Nebraska. Old School is brought to you by Graham Tires, serving the Midwest for 75 years, 4 locations here in Lincoln. We'll take care of all your tire needs and your car and truck needs, both big and small. Great service, great people, and obviously in a timely fashion. As I found out myself, Austin's headed over there, so you can meet us over there. Tell them that the Ticket sent you, and they'll give you great service like we have got ourselves. But it is the week of the draft, or draft week, the longest week in gray area history for guys. I've been here. You look from a little kid, at least for me, they had these, like, for me, it brings every year it brings back, memories. But I remember, like, being a kid, first moving to Minnesota, and they would have this, like, NFL films on Saturdays and Sunday mornings. I'd literally get up in the morning and watch. I had, like, a little routine. I'd get up and watch, like, Thundercats, G.I. Joe, like Transformers, and then go get breakfast or whatever, or make cereal, and then they would have on Sundays the NFL films, right? And it's very it's nowhere near what it is now. and they would have like big hits on there, and then a couple times they had my dad on there, and then they would just recap the last week, and then they would do some stuff from this week, and that's where it started for me, like wanting to play football. Like I want to be like that. You know what I mean? And a lot of these kids have the same, had the same dreams, and you just never know where it can go. And so they've worked their whole life to be the best football player they can be. They obviously were very good in high school. Some have had an easier path than others. Some people have kind of made themselves into a really good prospect. Obviously, they played good enough in college to be a prospect, and they've went through the process, the long process. Normally they would have been in winter conditioning, just probably finishing up spring ball. I remember the junior year for me getting through spring ball, and I'd watch the draft start to finish. Just kind of, hey, I played against this guy. Is he really what they say? All that stuff, right? Just love doing it. And so for these guys, they're waiting around to see where this is the first time they're waiting to get chose. And, the great thing I could tell you, look, there's, 32 teams. You only need one to love you. A lot of them like you. One loves you enough to draft you. And everybody wants to be the number one pick. Everybody wants to be drafted where the highest they're projected. So, I was anywhere from late second to, 6th or 7th. I was hoping late second, went 5th. Listen, I will tell you, it is the one of the greatest honors, besides being a parent and all this other stuff, is to be drafted in the NFL. And it's not guaranteed, and NFL is not for long, but this is a long week for them. And so, but it's a great week, and they got to stay focused, and stay out of trouble. But it's a plethora of emotions, though. I remember being at my grandma's house, being there. My grandfather passed away, unfortunately, before my senior year. My grandma was there, had everybody over there kind of just, it wasn't a big party, you're waiting and waiting and waiting, and stuff like that. And I was out there all week, you kind of go through like your game plan, have my little cell phone and stuff. And for these guys, it starts on Thursday. Monday's pretty much over. So they got 2 more days, and then it's going to be a lot of stress. But anyways, that's just my memories of this week, driving. That was the first time I drove from here to DC.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a drive.
Not straight.
Jaunt.
Not straight.
Still,
but
though.
yeah. Good. I mean, it's a good shield time.
Yeah.
And that's the first thing, I drove through like Cleveland and all that. So I kind of took the long way. So it was a good time.
And I know you weren't texting and driving because you couldn't text and drive.
No. And you were paying for minutes. Then.
Oh,
yeah.
Ooh.
I was
one call.
And it was
back.
like, I think it was free after like 8 o'clock or something.
Nice.
Yeah. So like, hey, you gotta call me, keep it short. But let's jump back in the draft, since we have a lot of local Chiefs fans. Yes, Eric, we're not the self-proclaimed best sports station in Nebraska. We are. We've knocked a few people off the block, and we have actually stepped up to the mic like we're doing right now. We'll talk about the Chiefs, who've been connected to connected to Love, the running back, but not so much anymore because of signing of Kenneth Walker III. Now, Todd McShay, they said they still could take Love if he falls to number 9. Most likely, it looks like Jeremiah Love is going to be gone. Worst case scenario, maybe 7 to the Commanders, who, if he falls, he's not going to last. I mean, New Orleans might have a choice at 8. The Chiefs at 9. They've been connected to Reuben Bain from the edge from Miami, literally since he dominated. The season was over because of Chris Jones needs a co-partner. And obviously he had a really good combine. He's been a great player. I don't know if you remember, Austin. I don't know if we were working together or not at that time. My dad went into the Ring of Fame, and I remember coming back on air. I said, I just seen the guy that's going to be the best defensive player or one of the best defensive linemen in the league or in college football. He was a young freshman there. His dad played at Miami, so he has the bloodline. The only knock on him.
He has the what?
He does have the bloodline.
He has the what?
Yeah, he doesn't have my bloodline. He's got the bloodline. That the only knock on him is that he has short arms.
Which, the way he's been talked about, you'd think he's a T-Rex.
Yeah.
Not exactly true.
And look, the NFL has measurables over time, over guys that play play on the edge, and they have certain measurables and stuff like that. And I think if that's your biggest knock, and he hasn't been stopped, what makes you think he's going to be stopped? Here's why I would push back on that to anybody that would talk about his arms. Sure, he has 32 and a quarter arms, and he needs to be 33 or 30, maybe 33, whatever it needs to be. All right, that's fine. So I would say this: offensive linemen, technique-wise, have gotten worse over time. Right? They might be bigger. They are not stronger. They don't move people off the line of scrimmage like they used to. Take Trent Williams and Johnson from the Eagles and those guys. Take those guys just overall.
Okay.
So the guys that he's going to see week in and week out are inferior to when I played. I'm talking about like the Walter Jones and Jonathan Ogden's, those guys. Really where you need length and you needed your long arms to get past those guys, right? So with that being said, the guy is that easily the most powerful guy in the draft from the edge. Has both a fastball, a curveball, and eephus pitch as far as the moves that he can. He has a plethora of moves. So he has counter moves, he has power moves, he has speed to power, and everything that you need. And he's been coached by a Hall of Famer in Jason Taylor. For the last 2 years.
I was going to say a little early to declare that for Mario Cristobal, so I'm glad you clarified. But.
Right. But for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
If take Caleb Downs and all these guys out of it, to me, there's not another safer pick. Because at the worst case scenario, he's what I would call an elephant end, a power end. That means you're playing over a tight end. So that means your sack total on a yearly basis will be like 5 to 8. But you're really good against the run. You kick inside again on third down. He's shown you he has enough power to play inside. He's trimmed down to 265. So you saw him at 275, 280.
Still moving like that.
And he's kept his power and his strength. For the Chiefs, I think it's a no-brainer, considering that George Karlaftis was essentially, you got fleeced. Yeah, fleeced. Chris Jones told everybody.
Yeah.
Chris Jones is on record. That guy isn't good.
He's stealing.
Yeah. I've played with a defensive end that told another guy that. And it's on NFL films.
Yeah. Go find the clip, folks.
So for the Chiefs, you figure your offense will be taken care of with Mahomes and company. And you want to have that pass rusher in Spags' system.
Okay.
I trust it. Now, if it's a young Jay Foreman that's never coordinated before in the NFL, you think Spags won't put him in a position to be good?
What he's made a habit of doing
the
last few years. I would say this about the arms thing. I get why it's a talking point, but to me, it just maybe, gives him less room for error. Less margin of error.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's not like short arms make him a bad player, right? We had the same conversation with Joe Burrow and hand size.
Yeah.
A few years ago, right?
Seemed to work okay.
It seems to have. It's not necessarily a thing. It just can be a thing, a limiting factor in some matchups. But like you said, you don't think Ruben Baines spent his entire college career trying to address that lack of traditional measurables and still been productive? I would say there's a kind of similar guy on the Chiefs roster to Ruben Bain right now in George Karlaftis.
Yeah.
Maybe a little longer, but again, not the longest arms necessarily. Motor guy, strong. Bain's obviously, I think, stronger than Karlaftis is, a little bit better base.
Yeah.
But I don't know if the Chiefs want to run that back, if they think there's enough of a difference between the two of them. Or do the Chiefs go shore up the offense first and say, we can try to manufacture some more pass rush, right? Okay, Spags, we're putting this on you. Can you get more creative with some personnel and manufacture pass rush? Because with Mahomes coming off the ACL injury, we're going to need to get him some more weapons, guys that can win early, thinking that he might be a little hampered with the mobility, which is where, are the Chiefs a Jordan Tyson player at 9? Do they think they can get someone to plug and play on offense down in the later half of the first round as well. Do they consolidate and move up like we talked about? I think if Bain's there, I would feel pretty comfortable if I'm the Chiefs turning in that card with his name on it. The Chiefs have been another team, though, Jay, that we've heard trade up, we've heard trade down, we've heard offense, we've heard defense. I don't know what to believe, and so I'm going to give Brett Beach a lot of credit for being a good smokescreen.
Right. Yeah,
point.
I think they're playing it close to the vest. I could see them trading out of there to get more picks because no matter whether you want to address it or not, Travis Kelce's probably his last year. You have struck out on your wide receiver. I mean, Rice is good. Can you trust him? Not really, right? But he finished the season decent, right? Hollywood hasn't, panned out. Worthy hasn't panned out fully, right? So you're searching for that Tyreek Hill 2.0. Now, there still is there is a chance that you could sign Tyreek Hill, right, once he's healthy. But as far as having a number one receiver for your legendary franchise quarterback, you have not been able to do it. So you can see them trading down and getting that, but it's still a learning curve. And you're kind of doing it again because you had Rice, right? Or you could go and try to maybe trade down and get Sadiq maybe and have your next Travis Kelce in waiting, right? And he does give you position flexibility as far as, tight end, move tight end, slot because of his speed and his build, right?
I know people like that Vandy tight end, Stowers, I think his name is.
One.
If you think you can get him in the second. That's what I'm saying, in the second, if you
think
you can make it long enough.
Or do you really listen to the outside noise and you pass on Bain and then you roll the dice actually on a guy, which I don't think you'd be rolling the dice, but I think you'd be stretching to get him at 10 in a Keldrick Falk or Cassius Howell from Texas A&M. And then you're talking about Malachi Lawrence from UCF. You're bringing in a whole bunch of guys, TJ Parker, guys that are not even in the same stratosphere as Bain because you're worried about short arms. Now, if you pass on Bain, don't think New England doesn't take him. So I think they do trade down, or the only thing that they could do if they stand pat in 10 is truly try to continue to address the offensive line and the tackle position or the interior guard position and Ione that you could possibly get because you lost Tooney to Chicago, who's probably playing his way to being in the Hall of Fame player, right? And so you
don't move up to 3 for one of these offensive tackles.
No. You could just stay pat. You could stay pat at 9, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
And you could get Fano as a tackle. You could get Ione and feel pretty good. That's not too much of a stretch. Both of them are the top at their positions going forward. Or you could trade down and see if you can work magic with a Caden Proctor. You feel good with Simmons, right?
You do.
When he's healthy and his mind's right, he's as a rookie, he was real deal.
Especially coming off that injury.
Right. And you let Taylor walk. And you feel good about your center and Humphrey. Feel good about Smith, your other guard. You feel a little bit less at your left guard, and you need to probably replace your right tackle. Now, you might have people in the cupboard, but if you're going to stay pat and you don't feel good about Bain, that's it. But what I just read off lets you know edges are going first round. So if you're not wanting Bain, you have to trade back to where you can get a legitimate edge rusher, pass rusher, and live with the fact there is a chance that Bain might outperform your draft choice. And that's a hard thing to do for the Chiefs when you're trying to stay relevant or get back to dominating relevant in the sense of being the team. So that's wrong a description, but getting back to where you're dominating the AFC West, where everybody is starting to inch closer and closer to taking over.
I used the Draymond Green comparison for Chris Jones before, and I saw an interesting comparison or kind of breakdown of what made Draymond Green so special and why it hasn't felt the same the last few years. Because the Warriors have had to rely on Draymond to do so much, kind of like the Chiefs, right? With the lack of outside pass rush, they have put so much on Chris Jones's shoulders, where obviously he's great if you can get him one-on-one with a center, one-on-one with a guard, right? Interior pressure, we've talked about it a lot. One of the most valuable things in football. Sure, you can split Chris Jones out wide, but that's situation dependent. That's, here's something different. Here's a look that you weren't prepared for. You can't do that full time. And so the breakdown I saw in Draymond Green was he's not being put in positions to maximize his value as one of the headiest, defenders in NBA history, piloting that defense from the back line. He's been asked to do so much more that he's good at, but not necessarily elite at, right? You're taking away from his biggest strength. And still for Chris Jones, his biggest strength is interior pass rush, not a defensive end, not by trade, right?
And not losing. Remember, they had him lose weight because they were trying to have him moonlight as an edge.
Right. Just doesn't necessarily work that way. What you got to do is hit on a draft pick at some point at that position so you can let your best player be your best player. Let him do his job and make life easier then for that draft pick, because as much attention as Chris Jones will get, life ought to be easy for that rookie edge that they would draft coming in saying, hey, here's a guy that can still wreck a game, out to remind people about that. You mentioned him coming in motivated this year, but you got to hit on that draft pick. They've taken some swings. They got FAU from Kansas State a couple of years ago, didn't do anything. Other guys up and down, the first few rounds of the draft.
The guy last year from, was it Louisville?
That sounds right. Yeah, blanking on the name.
But he has a lot of potential, and he's a kind of a project. But he has a lot to grow in. I could tell you this: if they're able to stay at 10, and maybe they go back and get say like Ione or whatever, or kind of trade down and just get Ione, they could get a guy like Gabe Jackas from Illinois in the second round.
Yeah.
Now, when you trade back, you got to find somebody that you might have to take a leap from him for him. 11 sacks last year in the Big Ten, so it's not a stretch. Physicals all get out. You got to remember he's the one that took out Casey Thompson.
Yeah.
And so if you could find somebody to trade back a couple slots, get an offensive lineman or a receiver that you want, or whatever it is that that you feel comfortable with taking the first round. Roll the dice on even a Zion Young, who's a really good prospect that you got to rely on your coaching. The Chiefs have done one thing for over the time. We're talking about since Andy Reid's been there. Over time, they've kind of been able to develop some guys. Now they, not to the same height as Chris Jones, but you figure this: if you just get Chris Jones focused inside, you expect Karlaftis and company to play better. He's focused, or you expect him to be focused and motivated this year.
Yeah.
You remember last year, the Jacksonville game when he ran out of gas?
Just stood there watching that touchdown.
But I think that was off of he had a little bit of contract dispute, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now you're going to have him,
which is not rare necessarily,
not
for
rare,
him,
but now you understand it's got to come back, but you're going to expect him all off season in better shape and learning, which will hopefully parlay into a better defense and just expect better things. But ultimately, as we'll take a quick break here in a second, the Chiefs are forecasted to try to take a receiver in the second round. So you wonder if they flip it. Now the Chiefs have spent a first rounder on Worthy. Maybe a little bit of.
What was Rice, a late first, or is he an early second?
He was second.
Okay.
Right, because Worthy, I think, remember, he came.
Yeah.
So they kind of feel like they've invested in that position. Now, does that mean they want to see it come to fruition? You won't know until you know. And so that's going to come down to coaching and what they view in the offseason. So let's take a quick break, come back, look at the second round. There's some interesting prospects for my team and your team, or my teams and your team, and the Chiefs. We'll look at the Vikings as well, since we got some Vikings fans, and the Denver Broncos. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Cinco de Mayo will be here before you know it on May 5th, and Tipsy Tina's is the place to be. Come down to 8th and Q starting at 2 p.m. on May 5th for the Street Festival, featuring piñatas, giveaways, and more. Plus, see llamas from Sweet and Sassy Llama Farm from 5:30 to 7:30. DJ Joe Cruz will entertain starting at 7 p.m. with a spicy taco eating contest at 7:30. And the best part, as always, no cover charge. It's the early Cinco de Mayo Street Festival with Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina, Tuesday, May 5th, beginning at 2 p.m. at 8th and Q.
Spring is the time of new beginnings and trying new things. If you haven't tried Führer's cheese spread yet, the time is now. For parties for St. Patrick's Day and Easter, or celebrating the NCAA tournament with friends, there's no better dip to bring everyone together and celebrate something from Nebraska. Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Führer's cheese spread. No event or party is complete without it on your table.
The University of Nebraska Rodeo Association is excited to announce the 2026 Nebraska Cornhusker College Rodeo. Come on out to Sandhills Global Event Center May 1st and 2nd. Cheer on the University of Nebraska Rodeo team as they take on teams from all across the Great Plains region. Friday is college night, and Saturday afternoon, kids attend free with purchase of adult GA ticket at the door. Advance tickets on sale now at sandhillsglobaleventcenter.org. Don't miss the Nebraska Cornhusker College Rodeo, May 1st and 2nd.
Gentlemen, are you ready for something beyond the ordinary haircut? At Scissors and Scotch Lincoln, they blend your old school barber feel with your favorite watering hole. Sink into a comfy chair, unwind with a complimentary drink, and let their master barbers handle the rest. It's not just grooming, it's an experience. Whether you're prepping for a big meeting, needing to get cleaned up before family comes to town, or just need a little time to yourself, Scissors and Scotch Lincoln delivers sharp style every time. Book now at Scissors and Scotch in Lincoln, just south of 30th and Yankee Hill Road.
Husker fans, bring the whole family to the Nebraska Market and Fan Fest. Join them April 25th from 11 to 1 right outside Bowlin Stadium for a fun family event before Husker softball takes on Iowa for the final home series of the season. Shop from local crafters with handmade Husker merch like artwork, jewelry, and wall hangings, plus enjoy kids' games, face painting, and so much more. To find more information and lock in your tickets, head to huskers.com today.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their contact us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
Time for a new AC? Call Bryant. Get rebates now and lower operating costs every day. For comfort and efficiency, call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Seems like just the other day I was building my first house. I've seen many changes to our building market in Lincoln. It's been a fun road.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
You know, we hear this a lot where I don't want to live in a cookie cutter home. Well, let's come up with some answers on what we're going to build, where we're going to build it, and what it's going to cost. One thing that we started doing early on was we started building neighborhoods. I'm a firm believer in character in your street and in your neighborhood. I like choice. I like variation. I like maybe something a little bit different in a neighborhood that you don't see in every neighborhood. I think it's great to have choices, its uniqueness, and I think that's what gives a neighborhood character. And I think that's what we've done over the years.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Lincoln is full of great golf courses in a state that is getting national recognition for exceptional golf. Friend Country Club is worth the drive, just 40 minutes from Lincoln and home to one of the state's most respected 9-hole courses. Enjoy their restaurant with popular items like a 14-ounce ribeye, 10-ounce sirloin, or chicken fried steak. Open Thursday through Saturday from 5:30 to 10 p.m. Expand your horizons with a trip to Friend Country Club, just 40 minutes southwest of Lincoln. It's worth a visit.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, we're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, Old School, second segment, NFL draft. Onward, outward. Lives will be changed. A lot of guys that had really good careers and, see what they, shoot their shot in the NFL. Do we got somebody calling in?
Tristan's busy on the phone. I don't know who he's busy with.
Oh,
there,
okay.
but we'll keep you posted.
So we're going on ESPN in their second round. Let's go right to the Colts, which would be great for you, Austin.
Okay.
With the 47th pick, if it goes like it's supposed to, you pick Jacob Rodriguez, linebacker from Texas Tech. That would be a cornerstone pick for you guys in the second round.
I am not mad at that. I'm not fully in love with that, but I mean, you trade away Zaire Franklin.
Mm-hmm.
You need some help at linebacker. They've said they want to get younger, they want to get faster, and I think that would be a heck of a way to do it, right? Obviously, very productive player at Texas Tech. Not bad for a former quarterback, right, to make the switch to defense.
He was at Virginia, right?
Yeah, Virginia. Yeah. Then at Texas Tech, made plays. Now, easy to do with that pass rush that Texas Tech had. You got to have a lot of open lanes when guys are so occupied with that front four. But to his credit, he still did make plays. Colts are still looking for pass rush, but it sounds like DeForest Buckner ought to be back in time for camp in the fall, which goes a long way. So I'm not mad at it.
I think for him, I think it's a great locker room guy, right? He's older, he's married. I think his wife's in the armed forces, I think, like that, because she's a little bit older than he is. When you force 7 fumbles, 4 interceptions, plethora of tackles, and played well in the big games, that's the guy you want.
Yeah.
And he ran in a 4.6, so he nullified any of the so-called negatives against his body of work. He's big enough, he's fast enough, very smart football player, very instinctive, does well at reading and reacting, takes good angles, and can close. I like him. I think he's a 3-down linebacker, and that's a guy that you need, especially on a 4-year contract. I think it's a really good pick.
There are 2 other linebackers taken within 10 spots either way of the Colts then on this ESPN draft. Handful of spots ahead of him, C.J. Allen from Georgia.
Which is a truth. I mean, you can't get any better than that as well.
And then on the other side of things, down at number 56, Anthony Hill Jr. from Texas.
Now, that's the guy that I think could leapfrog those 2 based on his athletic ability.
Yeah.
Every year has gotten better by leaps and bounds, and it's just I mean, he has like unlimited potential. And if he goes to Jacksonville, he replaces Devin Lloyd, who was from Utah, a great player as well. So you those 3 in a Colts uniform, you got to be happy. And all of them bring different things, but I think that they're all very good tacklers, very good players, and would be great for your Colts.
And don't forget the reason the Colts don't have a first-round pick this year or next year, the Sauce Gardner trade.
Yeah.
That's got to work.
Well, he counts. Now, you expect Sauce Gardner to be in better shape this year. I felt like
physical and mental.
I felt like being, and that's the hard thing to do. Like when I went from Buffalo to Houston, that is a hard thing to do when you're playing for a losing organization. Now it's different because we were all new in Houston, but when you get in the second, third year, it kind of wears on you a little bit. So you have to it's more mentally taxing to get ready to go, knowing that in Sauce Gardner's case with the Jets, that upper management, maybe coaching and stuff, isn't coaching and managing to win. And just the Jets was a cesspool of negativity. So a new change of scenery, you get the whole off season. You have to live up to the billing. They gave up tons for you.
And the extension.
You have got to play like a true lockdown corner. And if he's able to get, Buckner back, Rodriguez in there, I think it works out well for him. Now to my Houston Texans, which kind of were in lock and step here. They are projected to get Josiah Trotter.
There's a name there.
Name. Jeremiah Trotter. The Hammer of Thor from the Philadelphia Eagles. His other brother plays for Philly.
Yeah.
His older brother
Junior.
plays for Philly. And Josiah Trotter from Missouri, who was a transfer portal guy. He left from Clemson to go to Missouri. Really good player. Really good athlete, physical, can make plays, fits right in there with that young Houston Texans defense with Shabazz and maybe Tualo will probably be on the move next year. He steps right in as a rotational player, special teams, the guru, then maybe starts in year 2.
The first pick Houston has in the second round, ESPN has the number 38, taking Zion Young from Missouri. That would be an interesting one, because I think that's a guy that they would maybe view as a project, right? Because you have Hunter, you have Anderson. Is this a guy that, when Hunter's done, or if he wants to
or if he goes to another team,
right? You have the replacement waiting in the wings. I would have a hard time with that one, Jay, because it feels like Houston's a CJ Stroud bounce back away from being right there again. The defense was already served.
I'd rather them take an offensive lineman, maybe interior defensive lineman. Heck, you could take, if you're taking Zion Young at 38, 2 picks later, Jeremy Bernard is there, what the Chiefs are supposed to take. I'm fine with. I'd rather take a receiver, right? To really, because you can't.
That's been a banged up room for
right.
Houston. Take
Tank
another
Dell,
shot.
Is hurt. Was it number 12? He actually was pretty decent. The number 1 receiver is okay. I don't think he's number 1. So I think that you got to go interior offensive line. You could get Rutledge, that's going to the Jets for guard.
Okay.
If you want to get interior defensive line, if you want to take a little bit of a flyer, Caleb Banks, who was on track to be a first-round pick, but he had a post-combine surgery. So now that's why the only reason he's at round 2 right now projected. You could take Christian Miller, D tackle from Georgia. You know exactly what you're going to get. You've had a good run with Georgia players. You got Lassiter, who's a former Georgia player. You could maybe trade a 3rd-round pick to get another 2nd-round pick, so 3 2nd-round picks. You could even get Derek Moore, who we saw from Michigan, up close and personal. That early in the 2nd round, taking Zion Young would just not be my favorite thing to do.
That's fair. Yeah.
And I think you could because I think Houston's biggest problem, as we saw in the playoffs, was offensive line. And they really struggled against quickness and twist. And they got better, but they're kind of like Band-Aiding it together.
Yeah,
right?
They got better to an average level, not a playoff level.
Right, to a Super Bowl level. You figure, so what do we need in Houston, right? You like running back. You CJ Stroud, take out the Patriots game, played better this year than the year before. You like your tight end room in Schultz and company and Stover, right?
Yeah.
You need some help at your receiver for sure, right? Because you didn't offseason, go get anybody. And you need offensive line help at all time, always. So defense, you feel good. You can get a young, developing pass rusher that maybe needs to add a little weight, some strength or something like that, and you can draft them in the 3rd round. Just because there's a depth in it doesn't mean that you spring for somebody in the 38th pick, even though I think he's a really good player.
Well, especially if you can draft to help you right now.
Right.
I know it's about the future too, but if you're Houston and you're,
you just
get to average away at a couple positions from no doubt AFC South or close to locking up the AFC South, even this early. I'm not sure if I buy Jacksonville right away. Indy was great for 9 games. Quarterback's coming off an injury. Tennessee, we'll see. But if you're Houston and you can get a guy that can contribute now and you think you have a chance to lock him up, why can't you have the best of both worlds?
Daniil Hunter was signed back to a 2-year extension. Will Anderson just got a huge deal.
His
so
aide.
He's on 3 years. Will Anderson's on 2. So I get it that you might want to draft it, but you have drafted guys before, and Dominic Robinson, who played well. And you got Horton as your guys that are in your rotation. I'd like Young. I'd like him if you have 3 2nd-round picks or somehow you're able to get a young type in the 3rd round. Because when you look at this offensive line, you got Ursary from Minnesota that's making the switch to left tackle. So if he pans out, I like it. You're lucky enough to get Wyatt Teller. I like him. Jake Andrews, I can deal with that at center. I can deal with it. Teller's for real. You're dealing with Braden Smith at tackle, and you're banking on Trent Brown being healthy, right? Who was really good with the Patriots, got paid to go to the Raiders, flamed out, went to the Patriots. Now he's done in Houston, 2nd year, been hurt. And you got Evan Brown at guard. I feel if that's the case, I'm going heavy on offensive line in this draft. If that's me, because...
And that's former Colt Braden Smith, I believe.
Yeah.
On the right side.
Who's suspect at best.
Braden Smith was mostly above average. He sat out the end of 1 year dealing with some mental health OCD kind of stuff. He rarely disappointed, but he rarely popped. Was kind of my takeaway, right? Thoroughly, slightly above average. Never elite, but you can do worse. You'd like to think you could do better.
Right. So he's average at best. So I mean, that's what you've kind of always done in Houston, though.
Yeah.
Right? You kind of like, all right, let's get a guy that's average, right? Let's see if we get him to play above average. We've fired our offensive line coach. We've done it. We've kind of had the turnover machine
Mhm.
as far as the coaching and the support. Sure, he's a veteran, right? Okay, I'll give you Braden. I'll give you Braden Smith, so that he's an insurance policy if Trent Brown continues to drive through at Burger King. Well, let's just fix the problem. But if you don't want to, let's just fix the interior then.
Yeah.
Because really, that's fine. We can chip block, but you need to make sure your franchise quarterback is not in the position that he's running around, because that's when he looks the worst.
Mhm.
Because that's what the Patriots did. They faked like they were blitzing from outside. They blitzed up the middle, and it was Ollie Oxenfree on C.J. Stroud. Then they faked like they're blitzing up the middle, got in outside. So you have to this cannot be a patchwork job.
No.
From here on out. If you don't learn it, I know they're new down there. If you didn't see it with David Carr, you cannot let it play out again with C.J. Stroud with not having an offensive line that's up to snuff.
Mhm.
And I just feel like, like we said, we're going back. I just feel like Zion Young at 38, when you just paid these dudes.
Yeah.
You can, at worst case scenario, you can try to bring in like a Derek Barnett. You know, you could try to bring a type like that back, that he was a rotational player for you inside and outside, and get 3 or 4 sacks out of him.
Mhm.
Right? Because with Will Anderson and Hunter coming back, there's not a lot of reps that's out there for you.
No.
So second round pick, he's expected to step right in and play and contribute in some form or fashion. I just think that it's not probably the place that you would want to do that. But you know what? We shall see.
Can you take a guy like that in the 5th or 6th round?
Yeah.
Not with his traits, not
Right.
with his college production, but can you get, 75% of that production, traits, whatever, with the potential to develop, later on in the draft and save yourself some capital? Use somewhere else? I'd like to think so.
Yeah, I mean, that's all what the draft is. That's what Houston's done. And you know what? I should obviously, give them enough credit that over the last 3 or 4 years of D'Amico Ryans being there, everybody they've drafted have turned into starters or played a lot. So they know what they're looking for, know what they're doing. I just think that the offensive line is something that they've drafted at, struck out with. They traded their one starter offensive line that actually they essentially, it seems to me like they got him ready or got him up to the point that where he was starting to play like Braden Smith, and they traded him to Cleveland because they knew that they were going to have to pay him.
Mhm.
So that lets me know they really didn't believe the year that he had last year was legit.
Yeah.
Or they're going to draft interior because he was a guard in the draft because it'll be rookie contract.
Mhm.
So it lets you know sooner or later they're going to draft somebody inside. And so that's where they have to protect C.J. Stroud, or it's like you're doubling down in your offensive line is bad and your quarterback's not going to look good because C.J. Stroud is going to want to get paid about week 6.
He probably deserves it because I think he can be a franchise guy. But man, that's not a headline you're going to want if he's not playing well.
And I guess the biggest thing is what's the definition for you or the Houston Texans or the fans as what is a franchise quarterback? Is he a guy that is risk adverse, or is he a guy that you feel like you want to see him stretch the field and all that stuff? Because if that's the case, well then you better get him some help.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like you better get him a legit number 1 receiver, and it doesn't seem like that's what they have.
C.J. Stroud can win a Super Bowl.
Right. He's shown you that he can throw the ball. There ain't no doubt about it. It's what are you going to do? Now you feel like you have the offensive coordinator with him.
Mm-hmm.
You feel like he has it kind of under control. You got David Montgomery and Woody Marks. I like it, right? I like that, right? David Mills, you feel fine with him as the backup, right? Mm-hmm. Nico Collins, I like him. Now, does Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel really take huge jumps? Is that doing enough for you?
Nah. But you can trade for a wide receiver, right?
Right.
You can find one.
That's what we're trying to figure out.
And do they look better if Tank Dell's back in the mix?
But where's Tank Dell 3 years from? Like he's been injured last 2 years.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Right. And so that's why they get to pay the big bucks. And so we'll just leave it at that. We'll take a quick break, come back. We'll put a bow on it. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. We'll talk a little Emmett Johnson, see where he's at. He's looking on the 7 round ESPN mock draft. Let's see where he's at. We'll take a quick break. Come right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Graham Tire presents Life's Greatest Adventures.
Okay, buddy, here we go. Just keep your eye on the ball. All right, just swing right through it. Yeah, good job. Way to go. Hey, run it out. Okay.
Great road trips start with great service. Graham Tire, your tire store next door, with 5 convenient Lincoln locations, getting you to the places that matter most.
Husker fans, bring the whole family to the Nebraska Market and Fan Fest. Join them April 25th from 11 to 1 right outside Bowlin Stadium for a fun family event before Husker softball takes on Iowa for the final home series of the season. Shop from local crafters with handmade Husker merch like artwork, jewelry, and wall hangings, plus enjoy kids' games, face painting, and so much more. To find more information and lock in your tickets, head to huskers.com today.
In a world where Wi-Fi battles rage and bandwidth is never enough, one family dares to connect it all. Work from home, influence all day, stream all night, and game to win. Deadlines, downloads, and dance-offs, all happening under one roof, flawlessly. Can your internet provider do that? Fiber fuel your household at allofiber.com/all-in.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mixed Concrete in Lincoln and Palmyra. Ready Mixed offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they cover the cost of CDL training. Apply with Ready Mixed Concrete today to be eligible for a $2,500 hiring bonus. From Nebco's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today with Ready Mixed Concrete. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their Contact Us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Lincoln is full of great golf courses in a state that is getting national recognition for exceptional golf. Friend Country Club is worth the drive, just 40 minutes from Lincoln and home to one of the state's most respected 9-hole courses. Enjoy their restaurant with popular items like a 14-ounce ribeye, 10-ounce sirloin, or chicken fried steak. Open Thursday through Saturday from 5:30 to 10 p.m. Expand your horizons with a trip to Friend Country Club, just 40 minutes southwest of Lincoln. It's worth a visit.
When tacos and quesadillas join forces at Amigos, something seriously delicious happens. Quesadilla tacos. Crispy on the outside, gooey on the inside, folded taco style, and stuffed with bold seasoned flavor. It's like your favorite quesadilla and taco teamed up for the ultimate spring fling. With Tex-Mex, chicken, supreme, or steak, Amigos has a quesadilla taco for everyone. So hurry in. This tasty collab is here for a limited time only. Get the ultimate flavor fusion with quesadilla tacos at Amigos. When the weather heats up, cool down with Amigos' new frosted lemonades and limeades. Icy, fruity, and oh so refreshing. Start with a zesty lemonade or limeade base. Then choose blue raz, cherry, or strawberry to create your personalized flavor mix. Amigos tops it all with a swirl of frosty vanilla ice cream. Whether you're soaking up the sun or just need a cool pick-me-up, these frosty delights are summer in a glass. Chill out with a frosted lemonade at Amigos.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. Quick segment here before we turn it over to I think a weeknights. I think Tom Chattel, right?
No, Tom Chattel is off for the season. So it'll be Wyman and I talking some Royals. Royals will be over the air. We will be on stream getting you ready for it.
I'm sure you guys will be digging into the Royals. They've dug themselves a hole. But we mentioned Emmett Johnson, where he's projected, at least by Jordan Reed on ESPN.com. It's pick number 134, which puts him right in the middle, I think, of the fourth round or later fourth round to the Las Vegas Raiders. Emmett Johnson and Ashton Genty with Kubiak as the new head coach, which I think will work because I think, playing two running backs, Kubiak has been able to show the ability to do so. Kyle Shanahan has done it, so he's right around that tree. So I think he'd be able to offset Genty and be a really good running attack.
Yeah, I think that'd be a fun spot for him to get his feet wet in the NFL. I'm not sure if Emmett's a starter long term. Now, I don't want to be one of those Emmett haters or Emmett doubters. And young man did a great job in working his way up at the college ranks. But I think that makes sense. Running back friendly system, not pressure to step in and be the guy, be there, do your job. You said it before, would definitely have to learn special teams when you're not the guy at running back and really just trying to get your feet wet. But no, wouldn't hate that at all for Emmett Johnson.
No, I mean, if he plays well, he's their first draft, or not their first draft pick, but in their first class of Kubiak. If Genty balls out and ends up leaving, next up and to get paid is Emmett. So the more the merrier. Also, just a heads up here, or not a heads up, but projected here, which is good for Nebraska. At pick 233, Deshaun Singleton to the Jacksonville Jaguars would be great for Nebraska, great for him. Deshaun Singleton's one of the really cool and good players at Nebraska.
I still don't understand the lack of CR Wright buzz.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he ran pretty well. I mean, pretty productive. Maybe it's a size thing, but Sierra's competitive enough. I think he'll make his way. That's one guy I feel like he'll make his way on there. Once he gets into camp, I think he's going to turn some heads. So we're going to turn some heads, turn it off here. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, Old School. We'll holler at you tomorrow. Austin and Nick Wyman are next.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 403